slot like the Cube, I'm a Celeb, and Tipping Point. Join and get a welcome bonus up to £150. Only at 32red.com.
Well, it's all change here. They're more active, driving better, and going out in the middle of the night.
It's happening. It's happening.
Whatever your reason for making a positive change in life, Vitality protects and motivates you to make it happen. Smart Tech gets you started, rewards keep you going. That's how we share the benefits of healthy living. We call it shared value insurance.
No, I'm off to the spare room.
Vitality, sharing the benefits of healthy living.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome to Ibrox, where Rangers will take on Bayer Leverkusen. 1 o'clock kickoff. It is a friendly game. We say it's a friendly, but it is a bit of a big day as Michael Beale starts his tenure as the new manager of Rangers Football Club. And Neil McCann that are alongside me. We get a front row seat to this one today in what feels like, Neil, a new era.
Very much so, yeah. That was a nice close-up shot of Mikey, wasn't it? A wee slow-mo. He'll be. I think he's really enjoying the fact that he's his own man. Becky, I think going down to take a job at Queen's Park Rangers, I don't think he would have ever envisaged being back at Ibrox as a manager so soon. He maybe had aspirations, because I know he's got a great deal of affection for the club, but I think it's happened really quickly for him. The one thing I do know that the Rangers fans will see is a very distinctive style of play. He's been very vocal in the press, talking about that it needs to form an identity, something that fans will enjoy watching, something that's hopefully going to get results. Would have to get results this season, definitely, if they want to get the charge back on. But I think a distinctive style of play that was very evident during his time with Steven Gerrard. And it's just an amazing job. We were talking about it just before we came on air. I mean, it's an incredible job to get so early in your managerial career.
Well, Alan, the club moved very quickly after Gio left to go and get Michael Beale. Surprise for you?
Not really. I think you have to in this day and age. Obviously, there was an opportunity with the World Cup break, obviously upon us. Time to get somebody in, get their feet in, get the philosophy, the plan, as Neely says, that identity, because I think that's something that Rangers were missing. So to give the manager that opportunity to come in, be on the grass, he's obviously very hands-on, to work with the players that he's got and be ready for the league obviously starting again, because he has to hit the ground running. It's as simple as that. Well,
he seems a man that's very confident. He's saying all the right things, wants to win the 56 as soon as he possibly can and improve the cup.
Trophy Hall.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I think
I
think the Scottish Cup was. I mean, it was really welcomed last year when Gio won the Scottish Cup after such a flat entry Europa League campaign. Although it was a brilliant achievement to get there, not to win it. It was really important that they got the Scottish Cup. But this team hasn't seen enough trophies. This club hasn't seen enough trophies in that cabinet room of late. And I think Mikey realises that he wants to bring it to the club. but you don't bring trophies unless you're getting results onto the pitch. So the first thing it needs to improve is the results, first and foremost. But he's made a very bold statement that that will absolutely come in his belief in having a clear, distinctive way of playing that will hurt opposition. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, that they're Rangers and people will have to adapt to them rather than the other way about, which did happen under Gio.
Well, he's starting to make changes off the pitch as well. Is this where it starts with the small stuff? Because he's gone back to wearing suits on match days. Just small changes like that. How important are they?
Yeah, look, I think it's down to individual preference, really, what you're wearing and things. But when you play with the likes of Rangers, I mean, I grew up coming through the ranks, you had to wear shirt and tie. When you turn up to training, you had to wear trousers. That's how it was. And they have relaxed it over time. But yeah, the subtle differences, how you appear to different teams and things, kind of put the frighteners on them a little bit when you're turning up smart. So understand why he's trying to create an atmosphere for Rangers to go into, but these things don't really matter that much. It's all about what you do on the pitch and creating that positive mental kind of attitude to go and perform at a high level consistently, which they haven't done this year.
And how can he make it work in his favour that he does know the majority of these players from the last time he was here?
Yeah, of course. I think that always helps when you've got the understanding of the players. They know what you're all about, how you work. And if you look at the likes of Ryan Kent, for an example, when Steven Gerrard and McBeal were here, that was his best goal-scoring tally, his best assists the year they won the league. So if they can get those sort of players back to the form that we all know that they can play at, then they're onto a winning formula. Because
we know he's quite a hands-on guy when it comes to training and stuff like that, isn't he?
He is, I think there's a lot of managers out there. For a manager rather than a head coach, I've worked with different styles. It's each to their own. But Mikey's very hands-on, and I think it's really important for a new coach, if they're taking over a team, that they go in to get the message over really strongly, to leave in no uncertain terms to the players that what he expects, and sometimes you can only do that by delivering it yourself. But Mick is a top-class coach. I spent a number of hours with him talking about different aspects of his thoughts and coaching and stuff, and really enjoyed it. And I think the feedback that you always hear from all the players is that his sessions are bright, they're inventive, they're exciting, they're enjoyable. If you can engage the players when you're training during the week with a clear plan of what you want to do at the weekend, it's really important. If the players sniff it, that's a bit flat, you will take those performances, I believe, into the weekend.
100%. I mean, we can see it here, the energy levels, the enjoyment, the smiles on the faces. That's what you need from your players, and you're spot on, nearly. I mean, if you're training like that day in, day out, you're going to turn up on a Saturday or midweek with that same kind of flow and energy and excitement to go and impress on the pitch. And I actually like managers that are hands-on, because you can see the philosophy developing. He's only got a short period of time to get that across to the players, because the games are going to ramp up up quickly, and they need to get results. So the more positive influence he's got on the training ground is going to show on the pitch.
The time Alan he's come in as well, it's important to Michael and the coaching staff as a whole, because and the group of players, because he hasn't been put in as a manager during a run of games as such. He's had a clear period of time. Is it 8 or 9 days? I think he's had solid with the team since their return. That he's been able to work constantly on the training pitch. It's so important that. It's absolutely so important. And what he's going to have as well, although Rangers would still like to be in Europe after Christmas, he's got the added bonus of he should be able to bounce from match day to match day through the league and some cup games in between. But generally he'll get lots of time on the training field, and that's what he'll be desperate for.
For his own personal development in the time that he's been away, how do you think he's developed? Because it must be different from being, under Steven Gerrard, being a first-team assistant and a coach, to actually taking charge of being the manager of Rangers Football Club.
I think he's probably had to develop really quickly. We all knew, I think Steven Gerrard actually came out and said it, that at one stage McBeal wanted to step out on his own. So to leave what I see as another great club in Aston Villa to go on your own journey, he hit the ground running at QPR, and he's probably learned a lot in a short period of time to take that into his own managerial career. So look, there's no two ways about it. This is a huge club, a massive club to take early on in your career, but he understands what it's all about to be a Rangers player, to be a manager here. He's seen it He's won trophies here, so he understands the pressure that he's under. He's spoke very positively since he's been at the club, so I hope for good things under his management.
Well, it's a friendly game today. Is there pressure on this? Where's the gauge at? Because fans are going to want to see something.
I think he'll feel his own pressure that he wants to get a good result, a positive result. I know Leverkusen are mid-table in the Bundesliga, but they're still a good outfit under Alonso. But I think the pressure will come from the actual magnitude of the job he's taken. That's the pressure. No matter if there's 10,000 wandering here on a cold winter's day today, or it's going to be full to the rafters on Thursday night against Hibs, the pressure comes from the job. And I think the pressure that he's under is probably intensified because although it's 9 points in the league, I still believe it's doable. And I've heard, I find it strange because I've heard other guys who played the game, other pundits, now whether they've got their Celtic hat on or whatever on different media platforms, and they say the league done. I would like to ask him a question. If you're a player or you're their manager or Rangers manager, would you surrender the league now? And I think the answer would be no. So why suddenly, if you're a pundit or you're looking on the outside with 9 points, three games against Celtic, would you just give the title up? Now, I take the size of the matter is that if they threw away more points and Celtic were to win and it stretches, then I think it becomes really difficult. But while it's still in your own hands, and it is, it's still in your own hands if they go and beat Celtic and draw in.
There's still 3 old firms to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, but it's so important. I said, if they can get to the 2nd of January, full points, maybe Celtic drop a couple, there's no reason why the title charge can't still be on, but the pressure comes from the huge job. As you said before, 18th manager. There's no, I mean, that's not a lot of managers in this club's history. There's a reason for that because generally managers see success and they remain in the job. This is massive.
Alan, the belief there for you?
Yeah, the belief totally. I mean, 9 points is not such a big difference, I don't think. As you said, there's still 3 games against obviously Celtic. Points will be dropped in the coming weeks, I would have thought. So the biggest thing for me is pressure on the manager, yes, but there's pressure also on the players to go and perform now.
Yeah,
he's constantly now going to be analysing that squad, what he needs for the future, what does he need right now, who can come in and handle this pressure that they're under at this moment in time. So big, you say it's a friendly, but it's a huge game because everybody, in my opinion, when a new manager comes in, they start, slate's clean, go out and prove to me that you should be at this club, I should be picking you week in, week out. And the boys have maybe become a little bit comfortable, should we say, that thought, I'm going to play every week. That's different now. It's going to be, hopefully, boys breathing down their neck, trying to get back into the team, which is only going to push them on.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup today. This is Michael Beale's first starting lineup. Now, injuries have been a problem, and I suppose this gives us our first gauge to actually see really where players are at with injury, and it kind of pains me to say it doesn't look like it's that much different. There isn't that much of an improvement in terms of the injury front, because this is the lineup. I mean, the first one to notice there, look, you've got Tavernier and Devine. We were talking about this because there's no left back. Borna Barisic obviously getting through with Croatia last night means he definitely won't. We don't know if he'll be back anyway for Thursday, but he definitely won't be there. What do you make of the lineup?
Yeah, there's no getting away from it that defensively is where the issues are at this moment in time. Obviously, Connor Goldson is a huge miss. The likes of Helander, so he's going to have to go with what was there previous. I think where they're obviously heavily stocked is more the kind of forward-thinking areas, but this is an opportunity for this team. I know he said in his press conference, don't read too much into the starting lineup. This might not be the team for obviously upcoming fixtures, but it looks strong to me. Hopefully attacking. I want to see like kind of link-up play, some sort of invention that we haven't seen before. So I actually like how it looks going forward. But I think key, obviously, as well, is getting injured players back. That's going to help boost the squad.
I think looking at that there, if you looked at the front areas of the pitch on paper, let's take away performances that we've seen, right? We know there's boys not at the level they should be with the ability they have. But if you looked at it on paper and you think, right, speed on both sides of the wings, Tillman, who I still believe possesses a real good level of ability, is just not shown enough yet. He's not consistent, and I don't think his application is right. I think that will massively change under Mick Beale. I don't think he'll tolerate that. I think before Gio maybe overlooked it at times because of his ability. That can't happen. If you ain't working for the team, then I think you'll be out under Mick Beale. Čolak scoring goals. So you look at the makeup, Kamara coming back, it's a huge player for Mick Beale. He loves him.
Yeah.
And with
he
him
said that pretty much.
loves him. And I think with Ryan Jack beside Kamara, it gives a wee bit of extra protection, security to Sands and Young King coming back from that concussion he got at St Mirren. So I think that's really important. That will allow Devine, who's playing out of position, but a really good young fullback who really has hit the glass ceiling because he's trying to get ahead of the captain, who's been a top performer on the other side, James Tavernier. So I like the makeup of the team. Clear to me, distinctive style of play today I'm looking forward to seeing, and application levels and what differences in attitude I think we're going to see under Mick Beale.
Well, Xabi Alonso's men are going to provide a tough test today, aren't they?
Of course they are. It's German opposition. It's always a tough test. And I think they've definitely stepped up their game since he's come in. I think October they got the job, third in the Champions League, so they're into the European League as well. So they've done well since he's become top dog at the club. So I expect a real tough test. Obviously, they're missing players through the likes of the World Cup and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I think Mick Beale would want at this stage, is opposition that's going to come and give them a real test and get them warmed up for obviously Thursday night. So, really looking forward to it. As Neely said, I think seeing a real plan, identity, because we weren't seeing that towards the end of Gio's tenure. I don't think we were sitting here hoping for somebody to go and do a little bit of magic.
Yeah.
When you talk about this plan that you're wanting to see, exactly sort of what is it that you're wanting to see? What needs to happen? What weren't they doing?
I feel under Gio, when they got the ball and they looked up, everybody was kind of staring at each other as if, right, what we're going to do. They were waiting for a little bit of magic, some sort of play where you're playing 1-2s, you're moving, you're running off the ball, you're running in behind, one's going short, one's going long, everybody looking that enthusiastic way, trying to go on the ball, make something happen. It seemed a little bit flat towards the end, and the performances aren't going to be there when that's the case. So that kind of energetic level for a start, everybody at it from minute one. What we did see in European competition last season, when they went for teams for every minute of the game, that needs to come back.
For me, looking at it, I thought there was a lack of cohesion in the team. I thought it wasn't compact, it was separated. I think they didn't look out of possession as tightly knit as a unit, as a team, to go and hunt, to shepherd someone and cajole them into an area so you can go and throttle the play, suffocate the possession, get it back and then go again. I thought it was all a bit bitty, and I think there was a lot to do with the players' attitude. Maybe they're disconnected to the manager, maybe they're just severely lacking in confidence. There was something hugely missing there. You said something, 100%, Alan. But it was almost like they were looking for someone to do something, rather than saying, give me the ball, I'll be the one to do it. And you said one thing that I think is massively missing, I think you'll get under Mick Beale, is people going beyond, getting in the box. None of this sort of playing around the periphery and just being a wee bit passive, making people defend. If there runs in behind, playing it, if that deepens defence, and you can get those little 1-2s that I think were so evident under Mick Beale's coaching.
Right, well, let's hear what Michael Beale has to say ahead of this game.
Michael, a friendly against Bayer Leverkusen this afternoon. What are you looking to see from your squad today?
Well, it's a fantastic opponent, so we have to be ready and we have to be at it from the first minute. I'm looking to give everyone an opportunity because they've trained really hard. After this, we know that then it's for real on Thursday night. So it's good today that everyone gets to show me something and show me where they're at and that they want to be involved. I'm looking for some organisation and I'm looking for quality in possession.
And how has training been, obviously, in the lead up to this game?
Training's been really good. I can't tell you how nice it's been to come back into the club the last couple of weeks, reconnect with the staff and the players. So that's all been really, really positive. It's been competitive, the training. I think players have really wanted to stake a claim. You know, when a new coach comes in, a new staff, it's a clean slate. And it's important I give the players the opportunity to show what we've got.
And how important is it that energy in training is transferred onto the pitch today?
I think it's really important for the people watching outside, from the stands, the fans. I think they need to see there's a renewed organisation and pressing across the pitch. We're playing against a very dangerous opponent today, so if we don't, we'll get cut open. We know at this level, you know, European competition, another Champions League team, that if we're not together when we're defending, we'll have problems. So yeah, I think that's important. We need to show that some of the things we're working on, we're not going to give away all the secrets, but some of the things we're working on we can see out there on the pitch today.
And you touched on the opportunity for players. There's obviously a mix of experienced and young players in there, which is a great opportunity for them too today.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Some of the young players have grown up a lot in a year, which is nice to see, and now they're fully part of the first team squad. But young or old, I think at this moment in time we need players to really show that they're committed to the cause, are taking on the ideas, and the most important thing for me is they play together. And if they play together and they play with real energy, the fans will come with us and they'll be like the 12th player, and that will give us a lot of energy. And this is a dress rehearsal for Thursday. My eyes are firmly fixed on Thursday. All today is about is obviously working our legs against a quality opposition, and then me seeing one or two things I need to tinker in the next week, and who's going to cause me some nice problems. I want to have nice problems. So the more players that do themselves justice today, the better for Rangers.
Alan, what do you make of what he had to say?
I like it. I think he's very open and honest in what he's looking for today. It's not the be-all and end-all, the score. It's about what the players obviously produce out in that pitch, and it's about giving them a headache. That's what you want. That's what we're saying about everybody starts with a clean slate. Go and show me that you deserve to be on that pitch on Thursday. So it's massive for the players that are out there starting and the players coming in, that they're going to go and challenge each other to say, right, well, I'm here for the long run. I want to be involved come Thursday when it really counts. So really looking forward to this.
Does it feel like a big reset button has just been pushed?
Yeah, it does, aye. I like Mick's interview there. I think the players are like his message as well. It shouldn't have been hard, should I say, to leave players out in the last number of weeks Rangers were playing. It wasn't hard to find a guy you could have changed, because those boys playing underperforming. They weren't playing at their levels that they're capable of. It should be at Rangers that you can't get in unless the manager's changing it tactically, or you've just dipped a little bit, or an injury comes along. You shouldn't be. You should be absolutely desperate to hang on to a jersey, and that means absolutely 100% application. And with that, showing why you're in the team. If you're a defender, you defend. If you're a holding player and you want to screen the defence, that's your job. If you're in a creative position, create things. Goal scorer, score goals. It's not hard. Do your job. And as Mick said there, you picked up on it. Be together.
The cohesion word.
And it's really important out of possession. That's the most important time to be together, is out of possession, because it's the fastest way to get the ball back, to do something with it, and it's the easiest way to stop goals. And if you're separated, that's when, as Mick said, a good team will pull you apart.
Fine balance, though, between a friendly today, first competitive game on Thursday. Would you risk people too much today?
No, I don't think there's any need to risk anybody. I think they've been well rested, they've had their time off, they've been back in for a number of days now working hard. So this is about just getting the minutes into your legs, getting out there against good opposition, working yourself as hard as possible, and then make changes. There's enough on the bench to make a good few changes and have a look at everybody. So yeah, it's a good opportunity, as we've all been alluding to. So it's about who's going to go and take that now.
All right, we wait and see. Kick-off is on the way for you shortly. Make sure you join us after the break.
Welcome to 32 Red! Incredible! Play top slots like Thunderstruck 2, Immortal Romance. Join and get a welcome bonus up to £150. Only at 32red.com.
Well, it's all change here. They're more active, driving better, and going out in the middle of the night.
It's happening. It's happening.
Whatever your reason for making a positive change in life, Vitality protects and motivates you to make it happen. Smart Tech gets you started, rewards keep you going. That's how we share the benefits of healthy living. We call it shared value insurance.
No, I'm off to the spare room.
Vitality, sharing the benefits of healthy living.
Right, it is absolutely freezing, I can assure you. I feel nervous about this because I feel like it's exciting, we want to see what's happening. It's not because it's like -1 degree.
It is cold in here, eh? Getting us ready for outside. I'm not sure we'll go. No, I would love to just see a really good performance level in terms of, as I said, that input that Mick will provide during the week, and then the output on the pitch. I think it's really important to do all the things he's asking for. Give the crowd, whoever's going to be in here today and watching us at home, just something to whet their appetite for Thursday night, because Thursday night is an enormous game for the club.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, huge opportunity for the players that are out on show today. They'll be feeling it. They'll have that little bit of nerves. But new manager coming in, you have to impress. You have to go and show them that you're willing and ready to give everything for this club. So hopefully a good performance.
And score, we're not too bothered about that today?
Yeah, you always want to win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, but it's not I don't think it's the most important today. But
not the be all and
you
end
would
all.
still like to win the game.
All right, well, let's go then. Taking you through this one today, Phil Blacker and Kevin Thompson.
Thanks, Becky. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, almost a month since Rangers were last in action, and there has certainly been plenty of changes, hasn't there, since then. This is the only opportunity for Michael Beale to have a good look at his squad before the competitive action begins again on Thursday. Friendly it may be, but the new manager has already made it clear he expects the intensity and focus from everybody involved as the players try and stake their claim and impress the new boss, many of whom he already knows well. This should be a useful test today against a Bayer Leverkusen side still much further away from the resumption of their domestic season. The Bundesliga remains on a winter break until late January. This is the first of 4 friendlies Xabi Alonso's side will play before then, either side of Christmas. They too made a coaching change this season, Alonso replacing the Swiss coach Gerardo Sioani in early October, and steering a club who finished 3rd in the Bundesliga last season away from the relegation zone, winning their 3 most recent league matches going into the break. Well, delighted to have the former Rangers and Scotland midfielder Kevin Thompson alongside me for this one, which, given the circumstances following Michael Beale's arrival as manager, has more than an air of intrigue surrounding it.
Yeah, there's always excitement, of course there is. He's been here, he's had success, he's tasted what that feels like, and I think he's been refreshing. Every interview he's done, he's put it on the players, he's going to challenge them, and you're going to need to impress, you're going to need to be at it if you want to go in his boss, and that's the way Mick always was when I got a chance to work with him. He was always all in, and I'm pretty sure the fans, everybody at home watching, will be excited to hopefully see some difference within the team.
He says it will be an emotional occasion for him returning here to take charge of his first game as manager, only the 18th in the history of this famous footballing institution, as he put it. It is only a friendly today, but given the tight turnaround to Thursday's match here against Hibs, they can't approach it that way, can they?
Yeah, listen, I've played here, so there is no friendlies really. You need to win every game, whether you're training or whether you're playing a game. So I think that brings an edge, it brings a competitiveness. Yeah, there has to be that area of caution that you won't want to pick up any needless injuries or silly daft tackles, but at the same time, you know, to get up to speed, to have that intensity, to hopefully go on a good run, to put pressure on the other side of the city, he'll expect an intensity to do.
Certainly an opportunity for those involved, and there are likely to be plenty involved. He's made it clear that he will utilise the full depth of the squad. Still many, of course, are unavailable through injury, although that situation has eased a little bit during the break. They've had a couple of weeks on the training ground. The squad returned to training, didn't they, on the day that Michael Beale was officially unveiled, and a lot of hard work, I'm sure, has gone in since then on the training ground.
Yeah, I know what he's like on the training pitch, Mick. I've got a wee insight into it, so I'm pretty sure the boys were excited. You know, his training is great. And as we say, look, talk's cheap, isn't it? We want to see it on the pitch. He wants to see some of the things he's implemented. He's mentioned that, so let's see what they've got.
A new chapter starts here then for Rangers. Plenty of changes behind the scenes since Gio van Bronckhorst's last game in charge, the 1-1 draw at St Mirren almost a month ago. A new coaching staff arriving from Queen's Park Rangers with Michael Beale, who is back himself on very familiar territory, and those supporters excited to see the difference that he has been able to make over the course of the last couple of weeks. Still very, very early in his reign, of course, but this the first public outing since then, the first glimpse of the work that has been going on, of the direction maybe, and that this side will hope to head under the new coach. The 11 selected by Beale showing 4 changes from that which began Van Bronckhorst's final game, draw with St Mirren, with Borna Barisic still away at the World Cup, with semi-finalist Croatia, and Ridvan Yilmaz injured. It is 19-year-old Adam Devine who comes into defence. Ryan Jack is fit again. He starts out of John Lundstrom in midfield, returns as well for Ravi Matondo, the top scorer Antonio Cholak. And a wonderful reception, as to be expected, for the returning Mick Beale. 3 and a bit years he spent as Stephen Gerrard's assistant, now returning to Ibrox as the main man. The man in charge today, our referee for this one, is Don Robertson, just going through the pre-match formalities with James Tavernier And Lucas Radetzky, the captain and goalkeeper of Bayer Leverkusen, who have profited themselves from a coaching change already in the course of their campaign after such an awful start. And credit to those that have made the lengthy trip from Leverkusen for this one. 3 straight wins in the Bundesliga for Xabi Alonso. It's his first job in senior management, having previously been in charge of Real Sociedad's B team. He's travelled with 20 players, 5 changes from their last league game when they beat Stuttgart. Ezequiel Palacios still at the World Cup with Argentina. They beat Jeremy Frimpong's the Netherlands last night. Piero Hincapié was also at the competition with Ecuador. So we're all set for the start then in the freezing conditions in Glasgow. Rangers in the black will get the action underway from right to left in front of an expectant Ibrox. This one more about performance and preparation than it is the result, but much to watch out for against prestigious Bundesliga opposition. It's going to be a fascinating watch, Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, we expect to see implement changes from Mick working on the training pitch. You already see players high up in the line. Ryan Jack looks like he's going to sit. He was always go-to man, Glenn Kamara. I wonder just how much he'll utilise him. He certainly always talks him up, so expecting changes, expecting intensity, expecting a group of players that want to try and impress.
Yeah, Kamara was so important when Bill was last here under Steven Gerrard, and expected to be so again, as was not necessarily always the case, of course, under Gio van Bronckhorst. Bayer Leverkusen also in their change colours this afternoon, all in the white. A little early period of possession for them inside their own half. Ayman Azil, one of the young players, getting an opportunity. He hasn't started a game actually in the Bundesliga this season, but he did play their most recent friendly, which was almost a month ago actually, just after the Bundesliga break, when they went to St. Louis City to open their new City Park Stadium and won by 3-0. 3 further friendlies to come after this for Leverkusen before the resumption of the Bundesliga in late January. So Rangers looking to build from the back. Touch for Leon King, fully recovered from that concussion that he suffered last time out against St Mirren. Went through all the protocols before returning to training. It is an area where they are a little short at the moment, though, centre-back.
Yeah, Connor Golson is obviously a big miss. There's no doubt about it. And hopefully he'll be back in the pitch soon. It does give opportunities, you know, a revolving door really. You know, one door shuts, another one opens. So, you know, great opportunity for Leon King to stake a claim under new management. Mick knows all about him. He's seen him in the academy, so it'll be interesting to see how he utilises these young players. Obviously, Adam Devine coming in as well. We've got unorthodox for him at left back rather than right back, but fingers crossed he can do a good job.
Not his preferred role, is it? But it is where the vacancy has emerged at the moment. Devine hoping to showcase his versatility, the 19-year-old, who only debuted in May.
Yeah, I think it's refreshing already. You can see he's got like the 2 sitters, Glenn Kamara, Ryan Jack. He's actually got Ryan Kent, who we're used to seeing in the 10 position, just almost at a 10 position, but more centrally.
This might be the first opportunity to launch an attack. Malik Tillman trying to find a way through, and he has been able to help possession on. Early chance in the middle where Ryan Kent was the target. Didn't quite reach him, but the pressure is still being applied here by Rangers before Daley Sinkgraven is able to bring it clear.
Just robust play from Tillman. You know, good energy to win the ball back. He's got that in his locker. He's got a big physical specimen as Tillman. He's got the power, the presence to go and nick the ball off people high up the pitch.
I know a bit about today's opposition, brought up in German football on loan, of course, from Bayern. An option to make it permanent. The last 6 Premiership games before the break. And McGregor keeping his place in goal. Interesting to see if that remains the case long term under Michael Beale. Space for Devine to bring it down. And to get it back again. Rabbi Matondo wasn't able to force a way through initially, but still has the opportunity now, Devine. And will settle for the corner. It's blocked behind by Robert Andrich.
Yeah, good play. Great starting position for Adam Devine. Just a switchy play. We were used to seeing that. Whether it was James Tavernier, Borna Barisic, this time Adam Devine. You know, high fullbacks have to congest the middle of the pitch so players are close before you know there's space outside. Good play for Adam Devine.
Early encouragement at Ibrox. The corner kick then to come. Work done on set pieces, I'm sure, on the training ground. Harry Watlin brought in with that responsibility as the corner comes in, out by Tar. Ryan Jack rather was trying to get his shot away, didn't quite fall for him. This is Devine. Everybody for Rangers inside the Leverkusen half. Leon King. Devine again, and now James Sands. There's another who can play in other positions. He's been utilised at centre-back at the moment, needs must, really in that position. Tillman in there scrapping for it. He's going to get the free kick.
I think everybody watching back home would have expected the traditional 4-3-3 that we're so used to seeing. Even Aston Villa under Steven Gerrard, they played the same. You know, the inside 10s and the attacking line, but it looks like the kind of the 2, then the 3. And certainly Ryan Kent's getting a wee bit licensed to go and find the ball more centrally than we're used to seeing. So he did say there would be changes, subtle changes. I think we're starting to see a few already.
Likelihood is there will be more as the game goes on, both in terms certainly of personnel, maybe in formation as well. This is the ideal opportunity, the only opportunity really to experiment before the serious stuff starts again.
Yeah, he knows, Mick. You know, he's been here, he's lived the pressure. He'll know come Hibs next week. You know, 3 points, winning becomes really important before style. Style and winning is perfect, but he'll know fine well you need to win every game at this club.
Well versed, isn't he, in the demands that he will face. And back well by Ryan Jack. Chase on for Cholak on that far side. Andrish coming under pressure. See the desire to win the ball back, the intensity that McBail had called for in evidence right from the start. It's not a day to be hanging around in the shadows, is it?
Yeah, trust me, this is a warm day in Glasgow. This is, if you're native, you're used to this.
A little bit of snow earlier seems to have subsided ahead of kick-off. Chase on here for Moussa Diaby, one of the star names in this Leverkusen side. Real test for Adam Devine up against him today. Diaby was hopeful of making the World Cup squad with the French, only just missed out on a place in Qatar. Does have 8 caps for his country. Sert Demir, is he going to reach it? He does. Nobody in wide able to take advantage of that though. Chase on for Cholak. 11 goals in the Scottish Premiership so far this season for the Croatian.
Yeah, he does well. Cholak, you know, sometimes it always can't be about, you know, putting the ball in the back of the net, get the team up the pitch. You know, just a hopeful hook up the pitch really for James Tavernier. He does well, Cholak. Going to be up against it against real good defenders. Not going to give you a sniff. It's important at times that you give a good platform for the team.
Alfredo Morales available on the bench. One of those who were so successful the last time that Michael Beale was here, hoping to hit those heights again, out of contract of course at the end of the season. Devine's not quite going to reach that one.
Yeah, he's unlucky. So we flick round the corner for Tillman.
Champions League winner with Liverpool and with Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso. Such pedigree as a player. A big move to the Bundesliga at the start of October, when Gerardo Sioani was dismissed, having won just 2 of 12 this season.
Yeah, he was top drawer, wasn't he? Top drawer. I'd expect his teams, the way he used to pass the ball around the pitch, especially at Anfield, he would expect his teams to look quite similar.
Using today as an opportunity to experiment. Options for Kent as he works it wide. Tondo trying to create a little bit of space for himself. He'll settle for that.
He does well. That's what Michael have said to Matondo. Be positive, you get the ball, there's space in behind, use your speed. Good initial play for Ryan Jack. Just coming together really. An aggressive tackle. What you'd like to see.
Tavernier will take the corner. It's left to the captain to do so. Plenty of options in a congested penalty area, but instead it is touch short. Back for Tavernier. Now Tillman. Can he work the room? A little bit of pinball. Just no way through in the end.
Yeah, unlucky. You can see that's been worked on. actually just thinking they missed Conor Golson. You know, we're so used to seeing, you know, the big man at the back post. He's so dangerous at set pieces, great in both boxes. It's good to see improvisation.
Watlin, as I mentioned, taking on the set-piece responsibilities as well as being the first-team development coach. Beale bringing in this backroom staff, most of whom he worked with at Queen's Park Rangers, Damien Matthew and Neil Banfield as well. This is Jonathan Tah, experienced figure at the heart of the Leverkusen defence, 16 caps for Germany. As recently as June, actually, he was part of their national team. That one just skips away from Diaby, who has 6 goals in the Bundesliga this season.
Just as well, Alan McGregor just lost his footing for a split second there. I think always in control. Also just a wee skid on the surface helps through balls.
There's Kamara. This one back by Leverkusen and by Flojek. Summer signing from Sparta Prague. It's a good block. Further work required as Losek tries to make something of it. He will force Leverkusen's first corner.
Yeah, just a loose pass for Glenn Kamara. And that's the difference. You know, he turned the ball over. Good block for Leon King. Actually, 2 good blocks on his left side. That is a danger. You know, when you're trying to play expansive football, fullbacks are high. I've got no doubt that Mick Beale's teams will play with high fullbacks. So it does expose your centre halves. You need to be brave. You need to be willing to play 1v1.
See what the visitors can do then from their first real set-piece opportunity of note. The experienced Kerem Demirbay is going to take it. One of the German internationals in their ranks, albeit the last of his caps 5 years ago. No movement in the middle. Centre-backs are forward. Tah is the target. McGregor makes the reaction save. And he's grateful to be able to grab the second one. Good stop, though, to deny Jonathan Tah. Tondo at the other end, trying to launch the counter-attack. It's going to hold up for him here to keep it in play. A couple in the middle, but the cross when it comes is too close to Radetzky.
Yeah, good save initially for Alan McGregor, sorry. Then just a counter-attack with Tondo, that's what he needs, the space in behind. You know, green grass to run into, he could be effective. Good save, poor marking really. Don't know who he come off. They've come under criticism, the team. So the staff making his staff. You know, you don't have that big dominant header, you know, that leader in the pack really at set pieces to go and head it out the danger area. Certainly come under scrutiny.
Put the pressure on high here. Andrich goes back to Radetzky again. A little risky. May yet come back to cost Leverkusen, although Kent has turned back into a bit of traffic. He still has it. Devine able to squeeze the cross in, too many in white in the way. Diaby under pressure though again, back in his own box, which tells something of the story right now. And this one will break favourably for Kamara. Kent's effort blocked away. Much better from Rangers though, sustained pressure.
Yeah, I just felt nobody could get a yard there. Eventually falling to Ryan Kent. Almost like fun fours there for a second, everybody around the ball, just chasing it. Struggling to get a yard, just shifts it. There's Ryan Kent.
They deliver directly this time from the corner kick. And they'll try something similar again. Tavernier with the short one. Now the angle for the cross, it's out by Tah. Devine. Glenn Kamara. Tondo. Ryan Jack. Tondo again. Looking likely to make something happen here. It's his shot blocked by Tah. Kent couldn't get his shot away. There's a little glance in the referee's direction there, Ryan Kent, nothing doing. And now potentially the counter. Diaby would have been away but for the important intervention of Adam Devine. And it swings from one end back to the other. Malik Tillman this time taking on Tah. Just keeping that ball in play. Knocked away by Sinkgraven.
Yeah, good sustained pressure at the moment. Devine actually gets a wee bit lucky. Diaby, I think if he takes a better touch, he's away.
And it goes again. Oh, fabulous finish from Malik Tillman. And Rangers lead against Leverkusen. The pressure had been building, and it's taken just under a quarter of an hour to make the breakthrough. Really well worked and smartly taken by Tillman.
Yeah, brilliant ball. James Tavernier on the money, really. Just working great. Just opens his body up, one thought, put in a good area. Great run for Tillman. Just drifts in, really. Times it perfect. And a great finish. Don't think you realise how hard this one is. Skids up nice, to be fair to him, on his right side. Just uses his speed in the ball. Wonderful finish for Tillman.
A player on loan from the Bundesliga with the first goal of the game against Bayer Leverkusen. The first goal under Michael Beale. Early encouragement rewarded for Rangers.
Yeah, that's the thin lines. I actually thought it wasn't the best pass to Diaby, but he takes a bad touch, almost hits his heel. Just gets caught a wee bit, does Adam Devine. Before you know it, next phase, work it out at the right hand side. And think about the quality Leverkusen have got to try and punish it. Rangers have got that quality as well.
Delay to the restart, I think, as we're Demir by just out of your picture sorts out his footwear, and we are back underway again. First 15 minutes, and Rangers in front through Malik Tillman's goal. Got the only goal in the win here against Hearts early last month, which was his third of the Scottish Premiership season. And he's given Rangers something to try and build upon today.
Yeah, I think he does that really well, does Tillman. I think back to his involvement at PSV, Champions League qualifier, going and stepping on, like putting pressure on the back line. He's got the physical attributes, the quality. I think he's better further forward the pitch that he is doing sitting. I think when he gets caught in, dropping too deep, he's not quite as effective.
Interesting to see the role that he has going forward under Michael Beale. They do have, as I mentioned, that option to make his move a permanent one at the end of the season. Talking of loanees, Leverkusen without Callum Hudson-Odoi today is on loan from Chelsea. It is thought, although they have the option, the English Premier League side, to recall him in January, they won't do so, and he will remain with Leverkusen for this season, but he's not here today for personal reasons, we understand. Not part of their 20-man travelling squad. One back well here by Tapsoba for Diaby. Up against Leon King. Tapsoba had continued his run forward actually from centre-back. Is it going to break? Moussa Diaby. There's the goal scorer Tillman to bring it clear. Devine. There's a big opportunity for Adam Devine today. A lot of talk in the last few days who would get the role on the left in the absence of Barisic. He's through to the semi-finals of the World Cup with Croatia. Made just the one appearance in Qatar so far. And the injury issue, a hamstring problem that continues to rule out the Turkish international Van Yilmaz. Andrish trying to help Tillman back to his feet. He doesn't take too kindly to that, having been hauled down in the first place. Arm around the throat, look at that.
I think it was a high tackle in rugby. Never mind football. It's good body strength for Tillman. He's got that in abundance, just to protect the ball for the man. As soon as he gets his body in front, he's hard to shift.
The target through the middle for Leverkusen. There was no way through for him. Malik Tillman is seeing plenty of it right now. Devine. Tondo. He did really well. Opens up for him as a result of that. Three to possibly pick out in the middle. Tillman now has to give chase to try and retrieve the situation. Does have the space to do so.
Just need to lift it, Tondo. Tillman just coming in at the back post. I think he's seen him. Just executed it wrong. Just didn't lift it high enough.
The best chances being created by the home side so far. Now Ryan Jack puts it through for Kamara. Cleverly done. Seeing up Tillman to have another go. He's in the move for more. It did take a touch on the way behind.
Yeah, good play. It sustains pressure, as you say. Just when you catch teams, you almost suffocate them. Attack after attack. Lovely wee flick for Ryan Jack. Got great balance as Glenn Kamara just shifts it. Difficult one, to be fair. I don't think it was ever going to test the goalkeeper. Another corner.
Quite have his angle set, did he, that time? Harry Tillman. The opportunity for Rangers from this corner kick by Tavernier. Tondo is underneath it. So now was Ryan Jack. Corner on the other side. They're keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, great play. I think you realise how good a touch that was for Leon King. Just comes out the sky. I don't know if it was his touch or he tried to play the 1-2. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I love him. Great wee give and go with Ryan Jack. And you can see he did try to stand it up. Just couldn't quite go over the defender.
Getting a regular run, Leon King, hasn't he? Still only 18. For the under-20s, famously as a 14-year-old. He stayed forward for this corner. Tavernier again stands over it. And it goes this time. And in it goes. Really well worked set piece. He's there again on the end of it. There's Tillman combining with Tavernier. And Rangers are 2 to the good. 20 minutes in.
Another brilliant ball. James Tavernier just attacks it. He wants it more. Does Tillman. Just see him. He just drifts in between. Front post. Getting picked up. Lovely wee space. Great ball for James Tavernier. And it's a rocket. You know, 3 goalkeepers wouldn't have saved that. And that's how effective he can be. You know, given and utilised in the right areas. Been very comfortable, to be fair. They've been really poor. Bayer Leverkusen.
He was expecting plenty of positives, was Michael Beale, and things to work on. There's been more of the former so far. It's Xabi Alonso on his side with all of the early issues here. 2 for Tillman. Rangers in complete command as we head towards only the midway point of the first half. Satisfying, I'm sure, to score from a set piece as well, such as that.
He'll be delighted, especially the one that they let off, you know, the free header into Alan McGregor. To then go and score one. You're getting opportunities, we've got sustained pressure, you get free kicks, you get opportunities in and around the box. That's what Rangers have had. And now they're capitalising on them. I'm pretty sure 21 minutes in, he'll be ever so happy.
Good defending potentially to do here as the former Ajax player, Daley Singh-Graven, comes forward. The attempted cross from Amin Adli, blocked by Tavernier, back to his defensive duties. A French under-21 international. Second season since signing from Toulouse. It's noticeable, by the way, that Florian Wirtz, he's still only 19 himself, German international, huge talent, is back on the bench today. Hasn't played since March for Leverkusen after a serious knee injury as Diaby tries to deliver the cross here. He's been out with a cruciate problem as Wirtz, but he's been back in training and is part of their squad. So we'll see him at some stage. We're certainly going to see plenty of changes as the game goes on, but the intention really was certainly for Rangers always to start very strongly. Maybe the best team available to Mick Beale, although he has pointed out to the fans before the game not to read too much into his selection today when it comes to Thursday.
I think when you look at what he's got available, you know, defensively, Mick Beale is a wee bit of a struggle, so I don't expect to see too many changes there, but you know, midfield to front, I would expect he's almost picked 2 different teams. So I'm pretty sure we'll see your John Lundstrom, your Steve Davis, your Alfredo Morelos, etc. in the second half. And he's running the gauntlet, really. Go and get him a team.
Yeah, the challenge laid down to everybody to show that they want to be a part of things, what that they can bring to his plans going forward. Wants to win with style, he says. As we've mentioned, knows all about the demands required here. Very hands-on as a coach. He took a lot of the sessions, of course, didn't he, when Stephen Gerrard was in charge. So those that worked under him previously will know what to expect. And he says he has taken some different ideas on board during his time first with Gerrard at Aston Villa and then after branching out on his own at Queen's Park Rangers earlier this season in the English Championship. A couple of weeks to try and get those messages across. His team have responded really well so far. In again with Matondo here to try and make it 3. And he couldn't quite find the finish, having covered really good ground.
Yeah, he's unlucky, Matondo. just reluctant really to go on his left side, to go on the outside, and he just almost uses the defender just to try and guide it. Just that wee shift of his feet. He doesn't actually move the ball. Just trying to find that far corner. Unlucky for Rabbi Matondo. Probably the most involved he's been. You know, opportunities. He's been given opportunities. You know, out wide. He's same again. He's switched sides now. We now find him on the left. So, you know, Mick's obviously giving him a licence that, listen, when the ball turns over, just make sure you're in the right position for the team. Don't too worry about getting back into the position that you're specifically in. Just get back to help the team.
Yet to score so far for the club since his summer signing from Schalke. This goal was back in March on loan for Club Brugge against Genk. There's another that is out to impress today, and certainly shown flashes already of what he's capable of, the Welsh international.
Yeah, there's no doubt he needs space, and listen, domestically that looks different because you play against packed defences, sometimes 2 blocks of 5, never mind 2 blocks of 4, but you know, so you need to be a wee bit more intricate, you need to be a wee bit clever. But certainly, you know, I think a fresh start for people like Rabbi Matondo will certainly help, and that's up to them now to go and grab that chance, to go and seize it, to make sure that they're one of the names in the team line.
Will be given that chance. So is Beale. Giving the ball away here though. Could potentially be costly, but it's just behind Diaby. And as a result of that, Devine has space to surge into to come clear with it. Ryan Kent taking over. Devine's continued his run. Cholak calling for it. Matondo in support as well. Wider to Devine. Looking for Rabbi Matondo.
He's unlucky. He's Adam Devine. Good steal initially. He's as fit as they come as Adam Devine. Used to work with him in the 18s and the B team. He can run, probably the fittest in the B team. He can shift. He wasn't going to be a football player, he could have been a long distance runner, trust me. He's going to need that athleticism, that drive, that will, and then you need the quality. He's certainly got the quality. As we mentioned earlier, a bit more unorthodox on his left side than he is a natural righty, but he'll be delighted to be getting an opportunity to try and impress the new management.
Athleticism, an ideal attribute in the full-back role these days, isn't it? Here he is again.
Yeah, the harsh reality is if you can't run nowadays in the modern game, especially at full-back area, actually all over the pitch really, unless you're extra special, you need to be able to run.
Full-back's likely to be so important in this team, aren't they?
Yeah, I think domestically everybody will know that anyone that knows anything about football, that you know your full-backs become extra attacking players really domestically. You know, you think of the involvement that James Tavernier has, Borna Barisic, so if you want to play as a modern day fullback at one of the best teams, then you almost need to have an attacking threat. Yeah, you need to defend, of course you do, but to be that extra man in attack is so important at a club like Rangers.
Tavernier with the 2 assists so far. Rangers with some defending to do here. Just didn't quite run as intended from Demir. Leverkusen falls back into their own half. Tap Sober.
You can see they've got quality. There's no doubt about that. Of course they have. They just look a bit one pace really, and a bit lacking ideas in the final third. To be fair to Rangers, you know, they showed more energy, they showed better quality, they passed the ball around better, and then they've been more ruthless.
Leverkusen about a week into their return to training. They play another friendly before Christmas, a couple more after Christmas, before the resumption of the Bundesliga, so they are a little further behind Rangers, I guess, in terms of the timeline of their season. Diaby giving chase here. Gregor had read the danger and come a long way out of his area to make sure he got to that first.
Yeah, just like a sweeper. As Alan McGregor switched on. Oh, it's dangerous, you see, you know, just from the blink of an eye, takes a few yards off Adam Devine, does Diaby, but Alan McGregor switched on. Sweeper keeper role.
He claimed that starting spot under Van Bronckhorst this season, didn't he? Over 20 years since his debut. That was well worked. Flashed in by Amin Adli. Nobody quite advanced enough in white to react.
I don't want to put him in early retirement, Alan McGregor, but there has to be one eye, really. How do you replace him? You know, some of the older players, it's been big talking points for the back of the AGM. You know, the recruitment. How do we get someone as good as Alan McGregor? Hopefully a younger version somewhere is out there.
Not an easy task, is it? Ross Wilson, the sporting director, really the one charged with the responsibility of doing so. Backups on the bench today. John McLaughlin, who started the season really as first choice in goal. And Also Robbie McCrory. Leverkusen having a little more possession in Rangers territory just at the moment. And towards Flosek. Demir couldn't take the shot on first time. Here's Moussa Diaby again, just behind Andrich though. Sober's challenge on Matondo. Surely will now be penalised by the referee's whistle, albeit a little belatedly.
Yeah, it was actually a good foul. If he just got it away to Rabi Matondo, if he could just flick it to Colak. With a lot of bodies forward, Leverkusen, certainly space behind both teams. Really, the way they play at this level, you end up with like a lot of players in opposition half when you're attacking. You do know that if you've got the speed machines and your back line's not switched on, you know, one ball over the top, one ball down the side, you can be in. It could be a leg race.
King will keep it in. Half an hour in. Ibrox. It's a painful one.
Yeah, I think a sore one for both. I do think Ryan King gets there first. It's coming together. The fact he's on the ball, both players, just gets there first, does Ryan King. Sore one for both, especially on a chilly Glasgow day.
Kent first back to his feet. Whose future is on the agenda. It's the subject of one of the questions at the AGM actually on Tuesday, wasn't it? Captain Morales coming towards the conclusion of their contracts. They'll be able to talk to other clubs next month. Rangers would be keen to keep the pair of them if deals can be done.
Yeah, pretty sure everybody will be working hard behind the scenes. Listen, they need to impress the manager, that's the harsh reality. Yeah, there's no doubt that there's players out there that'll be able to achieve more money individually at different clubs, especially south of the border. But you don't play for a better club than this.
Tillman stretching to reach that one, couldn't quite keep it in play. Here's 2 goals, the difference so far. Both made by James Tavernier. To score himself actually in 4 of the last 5 games before the break, the captain.
It just becomes normal, that, doesn't it? James
Incredible,
Tavernier
isn't
score.
it? Yeah.
Listen, obviously he'll thank his lucky stars that he's a penalty taker, but the penalty taker for a club like Rangers, there's a lot of pressure that brings, trust me.
8 goals for the season in total for Tavernier already.
It's quite incredible to think that he's a right back. You know, his exploits in Europe last year were incredible. He won the Golden Boot in that European run. At right back is unbelievable, really.
In all 7 goals in the knockout rounds of the Europa League last season. Leverkusen will contest the knockout round of that competition, because both of these sides were in group stage action in the Champions League in the autumn. The Rangers finished bottom of their group. Leverkusen were able, although they couldn't make the round of 16 in the Champions League, they did squeeze beyond Atletico Madrid to ensure that they will continue to play European football in the spring, drawn against Monaco in February.
Yeah, they've got quality, there's no doubt about that. They've got quality all over the pitch from international players.
And they were 3rd in the Bundesliga last season, which puts into context just how disappointing this season really has been for them so far. It's what cost Ioane his job in October. So has brought them clear of the relegation zone, where they were residing for a while. Free kick here on Demir Bay. 29 points above the Bundesliga's bottom club, Schalke. Only 4 points above the bottom 3. 7 points adrift of the top 6. Plenty of time here to size this one up. Karim Demirbay, 4th season since his signing from Hoffenheim. Been in and out of the side really this season. He's going to take it, in for Tar, clutched under his crossbar by Alan McGregor. He was then denied the opportunity to release it quickly by Amin Adli.
I was just thinking in my head there how big they are, the 2 centre-backs. Tar obviously gets on the end of this one. Comfortable for Alan McGregor. Just getting a bit annoyed that he couldn't play it quick. I think the linesman flag actually went up down our right-hand side there. So I'm not so sure if it was a better head up. Just see a wee tug. I don't think Alan McGregor can go home at night unless he has a wee rant or a wee argument with somebody. I think he needs it in his daily life. Keeps him sane, I think.
Hasn't had too much to do so far today. As Tillman takes on Tapsoba up the other end.
I think when you're a centre back and the game's always in front of you, a goalkeeper like Alan McGregor, any goalkeeper really for Rangers, how switched on you need to be, the concentration levels. Ultimately, he'll probably have cold toes, I would imagine, standing watching the game, but the concentration levels, the information that he feeds to his backline is so imperative to having a successful defence.
Bill has made it a priority to build success from the back. Just implementing the sort of style demanded here. Stylish first half showing. It's a prestigious friendly, but it is all about preparing for the arrival of Hibs on Thursday. Leverkusen just seeing more of the ball now, but a lot of the damage has already been done as far as they are concerned. Danny Sinkgraven, from fullback, he followed his former coach Peter Bosch actually from Ajax, but has been on the sidelines for much of his near 4 years in Leverkusen because of injuries. Never really been a first-team regular. Azil goes back to the experienced goalkeeper Lukas Radecki, was the keeper of the year actually a couple of seasons back in the Bundesliga, Finnish international.
Good shape there for Rangers, really just squeezing the game, just edging and edging, comfortable in the shape, really difficult to play through, and ultimately he chases opposition all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Touching there for Kamara, who knows the Leverkusen goalkeeper well. Of course, they are teammates together at international level with Finland. I just named the Finnish player of the calendar year. Found himself on the fringes under Van Bronckhorst. Wouldn't be short of suitors. The Rangers did let him go, but it's less likely, I think, now that Michael Beale has taken charge.
He's a mainstay in the team. Michael Beale, Steven Gerrard, pretty sure. They've had that chat with Glenn Kamara to try and get the best out of him. That's a big statement, he puts him straight back in the team. Because you're right, minutes, opportunities, appearances were limited under previous management, so sometimes a new voice, a new direction, a new idea can bring the best out of someone. There's no doubt, prior to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Glenn Kamara was a massive part of this Rangers team.
3 league starts this season under Van Bronckhorst, a further 3 in Europe. Straight back in the lineup today. He also worked with Neil Bamfield briefly at Arsenal, didn't he, when he was first making his name in the game. Bamfield, who had 20 years with the Gunners.
Yeah, he's at a brilliant age as well. He's fit. Don't want to give him the kiss of death, but he's touch wood. He's he's a fit boy, a good athlete. He can play every minute, every game, really. And at this type of club, you need to be able to play 2 games in a week. Sometimes 3 high. But listen, every game's high pressure because you need to win, and everybody wants to beat you. But he's certainly athletic enough and robust enough to be able to handle that, as Glenn Kamara's proven that, through the runs, through the time he's been here. So I'm pretty sure Michael Beale will see him as a good asset within the squad.
He did start Van Bronckhorst's last game actually at St Mirren, but came off at half-time. Now that's so well timed. The run from Amin Adli, finish wasn't quite as accurate as the through ball that found him, but almost out of nothing really. Leverkusen coming as close as they've got in this first half.
Yeah, he should score. Adley, great run, great ball. He just drifts off the shoulder of James Tavernier, just blind side. James Sands should really be talking to him inside. Should see him, but one blinking eye. He really should score. Probably looks a wee bit at a tighter angle than it was for here, being opposite side, but big chance, big let off.
The lines, the need to maintain that concentration. As we head towards half-time, the first of the changes may come at the break. Someone was a little unlucky there. He might want to come off, friendly or not, on a hat-trick.
There's a wee challenge for you. The last player to score a hat-trick. Ibrox.
Go on.
I don't know. I'm not the stat man. Stu will be listening in the studio. He'll tell us at half time. I'm just trying to think. It must be either Cholak or Alfredo Morelos. I'm guessing, but I don't know who it will be.
We will clarify that.
So still be. That'll be his next quiz question next time I'm on Rangers TV.
Andrish, deepest lying really of the Leverkusen midfield players. Of Union Berlin. Soper. They'll be chasing. Devine got to it first. The big name players Leverkusen are missing at the moment. Patrick Schick is out with a groin problem. Lewandowski scored more in the Bundesliga last season than Schick. There's Amin Adli. Forced his way into the side of late.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Added quality. Make this Leverkusen team look better. Good industrious play, just reads the game really well. Does Ryan Jacks, gets in there, steals it in front. Just fizzled out a wee bit in it. This last 5-10 minutes. Difficult, really difficult to try and keep that intensity up, keep pushing. I'll be delighted what he's seen, different passages he play.
Tillman scoring twice in the space of 6 minutes. Matondo going down off the ball here, only now, as you can see, is he just getting back to his feet again. James Sands. Kamara did well to keep possession in a tight spot. Devine. Brian Kent. Tondo trying to force his way through. Down goes Ayman Azil to win the free kick.
Yeah, just no need to foul. Tondo, actually a wee bit lucky. Adam Devine, he's always on his left side when the ball comes across him, but just flicks it round the corner. Give him a go to start with. He's really good at that.
Rangers possession late in this first half. Adam Devine with space to assess the situation. Now Matondo trying to go through the gears. Andrich gets back. They just don't get the corner that they were hoping for.
He does well. You just see how explosive is Matondo when he does pick up speed, especially when he's driving towards the box. Opposition put them under pressure, leaving a leg in. Trying to make contact, travels at so much speed, just trying to tidy up that wee last part and the bit of quality that follows when he does open his legs up.
That's the next step really, isn't it? He's applying the pressure to Andrich once more, now Jonathan Tah. Stalwart of this Leverkusen side over the last 8 seasons since his move from Hamburg. Klosek.
That's brilliant. There's there, James Sands. Just reads it really, knows he has to get tight. If you don't get tight, he ends up on the wrong side. Does anticipate it really well, does James Sands. If you're not really a natural defender, you're accustomed to see him being more a sitting midfielder and he's been utilised all across, but I mean, he's had to win the faithful over, to be fair to him. Difficult, probably start. He's certainly growing and growing. He gets opportunities to play in the team.
Almost a year at the club now, since that loan move from New York City FC. Here he is again. Just an MLS Cup champion. He won 7 caps for the USA. He's yet to add 2 actually during his time in Glasgow. Cholak couldn't quite reach that one. There's Tar. Diaby. Soper, capped 29 times by Burkina Faso. He's formed this familiar partnership with Jonathan Tah. Diaby. Andrich. Works some space for Sinkgraven.
Yeah, it's good play, really on touch, forward back all the time, confidence. Just to lend it to each other. They've actually played a bit better for back to midfield than they have to the front line. It's that spark, that cutting edge in the front line. Leverkusen, they've just struggled really.
In the absence of Schick there, Certainly without an out-and-out centre forward. That can play that role, but he's not as familiar with it as his compatriot.
Yeah, as good as him, any team would miss him, that's for sure. Just sense, they look quite comfortable. The back four, two sitters, all handle the ball, they shift it. Diaby, they've worked it out this side regular enough, but that cutting edge to really capitalise on any sustained pressure, they've struggled a wee bit.
Of their attacking options, Sada Azmoun was away at the World Cup as well with Iran. Started 2 of their 3 group games. Piero Hincapié of Ecuador also played at the competition. They haven't been considered for inclusion today, despite returning now from international duty. Still got Ezequiel Palacios away with semi-finalists Argentina. They have the throw here. Last few seconds, really, the first 45. Ayman Azil. Klozek. Cut out by Kamara. And there is nothing to add on at the end of the first 45 minutes. And it is Rangers in charge. Thanks to 2 goals from Malik Tillman in the space of just 6 first half minutes. Both of them made by James Tavernier. These finishes really taking the game away from Bayer Leverkusen. He did enjoy more possession in the stage of the half that followed without being able to force their way back. So at the break at Ibrox, it is Rangers 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0.
Want a casino that gives it to you straight? Where you can play all your favourite live games like Lightning Roulette, Blackjack and Crazy Time. You're on. Want huge progressive jackpot slots like Jungle Mega Moolah, where you could win over £1 million. And deposit and play with £10 to get a free £40 welcome bonus. Unibet, you're on.
Well, it's all change here. They're more active, driving better, and going out in the middle of the night.
It's happening.
Whatever your reason for making a positive change in life, Vitality protects and motivates you to make it happen. Smart Tech gets you started, rewards keep you going. That's how we share the benefits of healthy living. We call it shared value insurance.
No, I'm off to the spare room.
Vitality, sharing the benefits of healthy living.
Welcome back to Ibrox. Rangers 2 goals to the good against Bayer Leverkusen. The first 45 minutes of football under Michael Beale's belt. Alan Hutton, Neil McCann alongside me. Well, 45 minutes in. Alan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen so far. Obviously, there's been subtle changes. At times, it looks like a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-1-2. Like Ryan Kent been given that kind of licence to go and roam. Tillman from midfield to go and get involved. They're very fluid up front, which I like, because they're able to go and play with each other, play 1-2s, get in behind. But there's that extra guy there, like Kent, for an example, that can go and hunt. They can go and try and win the ball back quickly. And I think they've done that really well. So far, so good. I've liked what I've seen.
Yeah, Neil, the attacking players seem to have more freedom. Shackles off a little bit?
Yeah, it certainly seems so. I think the energy's been really good today. Tillman, he's not been my best pal when I've done a lot of games because I've been hard on him, but I'm only hard on players doing punditry stuff because I believe that if somebody's got the talent, that they show it. And as I said about application, if you bring application, then I think it sharpens your game up all round. I think mentally you get sharper, and I think you're more switched on to chances. 2 goals today. I thought he's been good. What Alan's talking about there, you can see it sort of. I think if you put Michael's shape up on the board, it might be two up top, as you said, with Matondo and Cholak and Kent in behind, almost like a diamond, but a flat bottomed one, with three with Tillman on the right, Kent, Kamara and Jack. But there's so much fluidity to move around, and what you are seeing that when those forward players are moving around, Kamara and Jack are being that little protective role to allow them to go and have a freedom. James Tavernier, nice and high like he always was under mixed training. Divine's doing well on the other side. It's been really impressive, I think, for the first game. Have to say, Leverkusen are miles off it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, are they up for this, or are they just cold out there?
Yeah, I think they'll be cold, but they're not getting allowed time on the ball. You can only do what you can do. You're going to play against who you're playing against, and the tempo needs to come from Rangers, and I think it is, but I don't think Leverkusen have been ready for it because they've been smothered. They've had a couple of chances, which I'm sure we'll see, but all in all, I think Mick B will be delighted. Yeah,
you just touched on it there, the defensive high line. They seem to be in Leverkusen's half of the pitch most of the first half.
Yeah, and that's what you would expect from a Rangers team playing at Ibrox, to have possession of the ball, be comfortable, but using the ball well, which I think they have, and the front players have been fluid and been able to move about and get involved, but happy so far. I mean, Neil's right, Leverkusen have been poor. They are behind Rangers in terms of when they come back and when the league starts up, so you can understand that, but you can only play who's in front of you, and I think so far so good. They've done really well. Hopefully more to come in the second half.
And just going back to Tillman with you, is it about consistency with him? Is that what frustrates you?
Yes, I think players, listen, the best player in the world right now is Messi, and he can walk about, but he's always looking to then explode into life. And I think Tillman walks a lot and only explodes into life now and again. But today I've seen him work off the ball. I've seen his attitude to take it strong and get at people and be direct, getting into the box. Great goal for his first goal. He's gone beyond the striker, and the way that 4 is allowed to move, I've seen signs of what I've seen in the past, whereas if a striker comes out into a wider position, that 10 can step up to be the number 9. The wide player comes in, the other one, there's a little bit of rotation, but as long as those positions are filled, and I think Tillman has shown today that that little jolt, maybe the new manager that Alan speaks about when he's coming in, has certainly worked. And all the wee things that you're looking for as a new manager, I think have been evident.
Yes, you did speak about the new manager bounce, but it's perhaps what most important, whatever messages that he's trying to instill, he spoke about wanting this identity. We are actually seeing that related on the pitch, which means his messages are working. Yeah, but that's what today's all about. I know he mentioned the score's not the be-all and end-all. Of course, you want to win, but it's about him seeing what they've been practicing on the grass in training, day in, day out, since he's become the manager of the club, seen it out there in real time. And I think so far, after 45 minutes, we can see that. Subtle changes, yes. It will get better, it will improve, but we can see what his philosophy is going to be moving forward. So I think that's a big plus for him. Well, let's take a look at some chances that were in game. Alan McGregor, he's just sharp as ever, isn't he? Never lets you down, because he saved from Leverkusen sort of after 12 minutes. Save and entertainment you get from Griegsy. This is a good save, but it's a wee bit of an Achilles heel. It's been set pieces. Listen, this guy's a big boy. He kind of rounds on James Tavernier, and then it looks like Sands dropped him, but I think it was maybe James that was picking him up there. But he's so big and physical. But that's an area then, as a coach, they'll go back and look at that, the setup and stuff, and try and work on it. I think Mick's detail is good, but Griegsy is coming up with a good save. Not been a lot to do in the game so far, and then he produces it, but we're no surprised with it. Yeah, for him, it's relatively comfortable. Yeah, it's a standard save for him. We expect that from him, but of course, when you go into the detail, it has been a problem for Rangers this season, so it's something they're going to have to brush up on. And again, yes, it's a friendly, but we're still seeing that creep into the game, so it's something I'm sure Mick B will be aware of, and he'll try and correct in the training ground. Well, 15 minutes to break the deadlock. How pleasing was this first goal? Because this ball from James Tavernier was just pinpoint. That's how you cross a ball. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we said. That's early head up. We know that the delivery is always on point. It's a good run from Tillman. What we're talking about, getting beyond, getting into an area where he can affect play, and Tavernier puts it on a plate. We see it week in, week out. He wants to be high and wide. He wants to be delivering balls, and it's just about timing your run to get in. That's a difficult. It looks easy, but it's not, because it skids up. It's put into obviously a great area, but as you see it there, it just bounces up high. But Tillman's got that technique to get his leg up
keep it down and put it in the back of the net. It's a real good finish.
It's such a controlled finish because the shot we got from behind the goal, it's skipping up. He needs to fully concentrate on it. But that's that movement, Becky, I'm talking about, when Čolak's sort of gone beyond the front post, so he's virtually dead for attack on goal. But because James Tavernier has not wasted any time, as Alan said, and put it into that corridor where defenders are on running towards their own goal, it's really important if your main number 9 is out of that position, it's somebody comes from a deeper position. It's hard to pick up, you can find gaps, and that's a really brilliant finish.
It seems like that's what he's looking for, pretty much what you touched on there. It doesn't matter what position you're told to play on the pitch. If you are rotating, just make sure someone's there. Yep. Like Čolak's out, Tillman's there. If Tillman's not there, Čolak's out, Kent's there. As long as somebody's within that space to go and create and make something happen, then he's happy.
Set pieces, always important in games. Yep. Second goal came from exactly that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, the two link up. As I said before, you expect this. Yeah, you expect this for Tavernier. He doesn't actually have to do much apart from move 2 yards to his left. He's a big guy. He's got a good leap. You know he's going to get a header on it, and the pace is on the ball. I mean, Tavernier, you kind of run out of words and things to say about him, about his delivery and his goal scoring, his assists, but that's on a plate for somebody to just go and attack, and out jumps the defender. There's only going to be one winner, and it's a real good header because he still has to direct it in, but the pace is there. Yeah. So yeah, good finish.
Brilliant delivery. I mean, it's whipped towards the 6-yard box, so he eliminates the goalkeeper. I have to say, shocking from them.
Should they have done better with that?
Just so static. I'm saying the first picture we were watching, Mark Tillman just standing just outside the 6-yard box, and I know there's zonal marking is along there. You still have to go and attack the ball. You can't just expect it's going to bounce off your head. So that's what I mean about not getting sucked in because Rangers are up 2-0 and getting carried away. This is still a quality outfit, but you can see they're not quite at the levels mentally or physically. But the good news is, I think Rangers are, and they should only get better.
Rabbi Matondo, he had a chance. Let's talk about this. Did he make the right decision?
Obviously, Neely will tell you more. That's kind of his bag, this. But look, he does everything right. I think that the space opens up for him to drive in his left. He's got that pace. Can he take a touch out, his feet to the left-hand side, drive it across the goalkeeper? If he parries it out, Čolak's coming in. Someone else is coming in for a tap-in. But look, I'm not an attacking player. I mean, he does create the yard from to open up the angle to maybe put it in the far post. But my original thought was, can he take it on the left, drive it at the defender? Defenders don't like it when you run full pace at them and cut it across. But you'll know better than I do.
No, I agree. I think the execution, I'm trying to open up the far post, was just off, wasn't nailed. But as soon as a defender, because Matondo is quick carrying the ball and he takes small strides, so when a defender's showing you an outside, I think it's just a quick shift and a smash with your left foot, and sometimes it doesn't get the keeper to get a set as well. But I think he's been decent, Matondo. Yeah. I think he's been direct without being exceptional. He's a couple of runs down the side, he's a couple of stand-ups. He had one for Tillman where he only needed to just get some more elevation on it. I thought it was probably a poor execution of picking out Tillman. But the fact is, he's been positive and direct. And so many times today, I've noticed that when players are picking up in the final third, whether it be Tillman, Matondo, or Kent, or even young Devine as well, there's no second thoughts to turn back and come out and be passive to let the team set you're playing against. It's been positive. It's Devine putting balls in the box, Tavernier, Matondo. So all round, I think Mick Beale will be really, really happy.
That's been one of the biggest things for me. We obviously spoke about it previous, under obviously the likes of Gio. Everything was very slow, at times one-paced, where I think it seems a lot quicker. People are trying to take on fullbacks, they're trying to get wide, make things happen, 1-2s, moving the ball, pass, move. It's always difficult for defenders to keep up with that. That's one of the biggest differences I've seen so far, and they need to continue that. It's only going to get better the more they do it, but you can see these subtle changes that obviously the manager's been speaking about in his press conference.
Right, it's an encouraging 45 minutes then for the first half here. Rangers 2 goals to the good against Bayer Leverkusen. Join us for the second half, coming your way shortly.
Want all our best slots without getting in a spin? With hundreds of epic games and your favourite classics like Book of Dead and Starburst, you're on. Plus, Fishing Frenzy Mega Waves and the new Bigger Bass Bonanza, where you could reel in 4,000 times your stake and deposit and play with £10 for a free £40 welcome bonus. Unibet, you're on.
Well, it's all change here. They're more active, driving better, and going out in the middle of the night?
It's happening. It's happening.
Whatever your reason for making a positive change in life, Vitality protects and motivates you to make it happen. Smart Tech gets you started, rewards keep you going. That's how we share the benefits of healthy living. We call it shared value insurance.
No, I'm off to the spare room.
Vitality, sharing the benefits of healthy living.
Welcome back to Ibrox. Looks to be changes coming in the second half here. Rangers versus Bayer Leverkusen in a friendly. Michael Beale's first game in charge. But to tell you about those changes, let's take you back to Phil Blackett and Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, thanks, Becky. Welcome back, everybody. Plenty of changes on the way. Many of them, as you can see here at half-time, as Michael Beale does as he promised he would do. Rotate his options. We are going to see in this second half the introduction of Alfredo Morelos up top. Fashion Sakala is also on as well. This, Kevin Thompson, is to be expected, but it might just disrupt the rhythm of the game a little bit.
Yes, well, I suppose the boys that are coming on won't want it to disrupt the rhythm, because they want to try and make an impact to make sure that they're in the team next week. But we did mention, without having any inside info really, that the kind of front three and the midfield three might be the ones that change looking at the bench. I thought he might have two different teams, but the back four, he's not hands are tied. He's got Robbie Fraser, who hopefully we'll see. I know Rob really well, so fingers crossed he can get some of the action. But the scope, I suppose, for the management team, we having so many injuries defensively is a challenging one. But at the same time, the back four have been well equipped so far.
8 changes in total, I'm told, for this second half. McLaughlin, Wright, Arfield, Davis and Lundstrom on, as well as Morelos and Sakala. So it is all changed. McGregor, Jack, no hat-trick for Tillman. He has made way as well. Kamara, Kent, Matondo and Cholak, the other players to be replaced for this second period. So it is almost a entirely different Rangers side. The approach, will the mentality be the same? We shall see. That's the challenge, isn't it, for those coming on?
Yeah, I think so. I think Scott Wright, Alfredo's obviously like for Cholak, but it'll be interesting to see Sakala, Scott Arfield, Scott Wright. I'm guessing Steve Davis and John Lundstrom will be the two that predominantly sit, although we're seeing John Lundstrom higher up the pitch already, so I'm sure the principles will stay the same. The personnel has obviously changed.
Davis as they press and probe here. Select to follow for those that have emerged at half-time. Lundstrom down the line. Spoken of his delight at getting to work with Michael Beale again. So when he was previously here as Stephen Gerrard's assistant. Trying to reach that. Was able to cut it back from the byline. Davis had won it back well, but to no avail, and now potentially the counter-attack for a Leverkusen side who have kept their changes until later. The free kick here. The assistant is indicating over on that far side they will get it.
It's going to get a corner. Scott Arfield turns over there. Good tracking back. Scott Arfield is expect that. He's got that midfield instinct to always help the team. He's always a boy that puts the team before himself.
They've made a couple of changes at the interval. Mitchell Bakker you saw a moment ago, and then Nadim Amiri has been a regular in the last few weeks of the Bundesliga before the break, forcing his way back into the side. He was out on loan at Genoa last season. They do have this corner kick. Actually came off a Rangers head, but it's clutched under his crossbar by McLaughlin, his first involvement since coming on. Here's Mitchell Bakker. Patiently worked. Morelos get his shot away. Doesn't unduly trouble Radetzky. Goes down a shot on target.
Yeah, comfortable one really. Just didn't quite get hold of it. Alfredo Morelos, good play, clever wee pass. Probably goes unnoticed, that wee clever pass for Scott Wright, just to open the play up. They do look dangerous, Rangers, when they go from one side to the other. Playing the high fullbacks, part of the play from McBeal to try and attract the opposition from one side of the pitch to go quickly to the other. Especially when you've got people like Ryan Kent, albeit off this half, to try and expose them in wider areas, 1v1, a bit more space to operate in.
Tavernier, creator of the 2 goals so far. There's James Sands.
And Steve Davis, the Rolls Royce, Rolls Royces. Don't want to do him with a service at the tender age of 38, I think. Same age as me, Davo. Just the way he's looked after himself, his professionalism, his class he's carried right through his career. Even if he might not play as many minutes as he probably would like, because that never leaves you under McBeal. Just his presence, his standards that he sets, be imperative to hopefully trying to turn the tide on this season.
He's seen plenty of it since he came on at the break. 350 appearances in his 2 spells at the club, 10 trophies. Okay, record 140 caps for Northern Ireland.
Incredible, isn't it, when you say it like that? And he will be, I know people like him and Scott Arfield will be the go-to boys when these young players want advice. The standards they set on a daily basis, so important.
It can't be underestimated, can it, the part that they have to play off the pitch as well as on it.
Listen, when the experience you're going through, no matter how plain sailing it'll be for this Rangers team, there will be ups and downs, there'll be tough times, there'll be questions asked, and that's when you need the experience, that's when you need the calmness, people that have run the distance, and these boys have. It's so important, and Mick will know that. To have almost unnamed captains within the squad.
Mitchell Bakker came on for Daly Sincraft at half-time at left-back for Leverkusen. Taking on Tavernier. Still has further work to do, the captain, in guiding that one back for John McLaughlin to clear. And Morelos taking on Tar. Sakala did want to reach it. Unable really to trick his way through. Fit again, missed the last couple of games before the break with a muscle injury that kept him out of international duty, actually, with Zambia as well last month.
Yeah, good initial play. Alfredo Morelos, so used to seeing that. Just so powerful, and when he's at his best, he runs that channel better than anyone, gets the team up the pitch, so strong in body contact.
Clear-cut free kick here. Scott Wright did start the last game, 1-1 at St Mirren, which was his first league start since August.
And he's one that was recruited under McBeal, Stephen Gerrard, so they know all about him, they know his strengths, his qualities.
It's an awkward one for McLaughlin, who just got to it first. Ahead of the Leverkusen substitute Amiri, to take a little bit of a chance in doing so.
Yeah, it's probably been the only ball, isn't it? The chance in the first half, the one down the side has been dangerous. It's the one that, if it has been played right, it's caused a wee bit of confusion. I think the open play, the team shape has been really good, but just that one ball down the side of the 2 centre-backs, that kind of key one in between James Tavernier and James Sands are on the other side. Adam Devine and Liam King's been the one glimmer of hope, really, Leverkusen have had to look dangerous.
Fouls on sounds. Tavernier taking the free kick quickly. Just reached it ahead of Adam Klosek. Morelos. Right. This is Davis.
Good play though. No give and go. So used to seeing that. Intricate play, speedy pass.
Has been a regular this season. In fact, he started every game in the Premiership. Brought on at half-time by Michael Beale.
I just think he went through a wee spell, John Lundstrom, under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Like, what was he? What was his role in the team? At times he was trying to get forward and kind of make that third man run. And other times he was sitting. You see him now, always trying to run forward. Interesting to see how McBeal utilises him.
Flashes it in first time, and it might open up here. Scott Arfield would probably have been expecting to score there from that sort of range.
That's a wonderful save, wonderful pass. He does that so well, does Scott Arfield. He should score, really. I think he wanted to stay on his feet because he wanted to score. He could have got the penalty, I think.
Klosek the target for Leverkusen at the other end. Coolly done, though. As Rangers deal with the threat. Game opening up again in the last few moments.
It's come alive there, didn't it? That one key pass, before you know it, I would expect him to score. Scott Arfield.
Put himself in position. He's found beautifully, but Radetzky doing enough to deny him. Just looking for the third goal. Fashion Sakala here. Attempting to link with Morelos. Challenges on Demirbay. That'll be a Leverkusen free kick and the opportunity just to try and relieve the pressure. This is how close Rangers did come. Arfield looked like he'd done the hard bit.
Yeah, he just uses his power, really. And he wants to stay on his feet. Just you see the contact coming, he just wants to put it in the net. But Scott Arfield, wonderful pass, great take. And he should score.
A couple of goals so far in the Premiership this season for Scott Arfield. One of Stephen Gerrard's first signings as manager. Amiri. Tar to Tapsoba. Andrish. They've had their difficulties, Leverkusen, defensively, certainly earlier on in the season. They did win 3 in a row before the Bundesliga break. They'd gone 6 actually without a victory in all competitions prior to that. They've won just one of the previous 10. Turning their fortunes around somewhat. Followed by Mitchell Bakker. Amin Adli is going to be pulled back by the offside flag.
Luckily, offside, Adli. It was a wee bit too early. Just flicked round the corner. As you see, clearly offside, the shade into the grass. Just gets attracted to the ball, Leon King, James Sands, James Tavernier just been that slightly bit higher.
Just beginning to see a bit more of the ball again, those in white.
As we mentioned a few times, they do move it well. Kind of seem to go just short of that final third, and they look quite smooth, and then all of a sudden, that cutting edges you do get. So on the break, there's no doubt they're good players, a real good team. Like the boys mentioned in the studio before, that edge that you get when you do get up to speed that Rangers did have in the first half. Leverkusen have just struggled a wee bit.
They have another friendly week today, actually, at home in Zurich. Almost switched off for a split second. You can't do that against this Rangers side.
Yeah, he just has to play it softer there, does Alfredo Morelos. It's just a soft pass. If he just executes the right pass, like his soft feet, it would have been a tap-in.
Continuing for the moment, despite the fact that Scott Wright has stayed down. That is why it will be To a temporary halt just to check that he's okay.
It looked like he was holding just under his neck, just to come together, I think. Just a wee bump in the back. Scott Ray. It looks like he's limping. I don't know if I thought he was holding just under his neck there to start with. Looks more like maybe that he bumped his ankle.
Just to keep a little eye on as we get underway again. Morelos trying to force it through towards Fashion Sakala. There's Lundstrom. James Sams. Morelos didn't have a lot of time there against Tari. Just got his foot in first. Demir by working it wider. And then Azil. Karim Bellarabi, who's also just been brought on by Bayer Leverkusen. He's only just back from injury, actually. Returned just prior to the Bundesliga break from a knee problem that had ruled him out since the opening weekend of the season. Experienced German international. Another offside flag up on the far side, though, to the frustration of Mitchell Bakker.
Yeah, it's poor for Bakker, really. Good switchy play. Done it too often. Leverkusen. See the space one side to the other, looking right across the line. Sloppy, really.
Further friendlies to come against Copenhagen and Venezia before they go to Borussia Mönchengladbach on the 22nd of January. That's the next competitive game. This is, of course, here on Thursday against Hibs. And the games after that will come thick and fast. The Scottish Premiership back in full swing again. Rangers looking to close that 9-point gap at the summit. This will be really important preparation for Thursday.
Yeah, that'll certainly look different, trust me. There will be 50,000 packed in here. And every ball, every throw and every by kick will be a fight. I'll be delighted, Mick. Players will be giving him something to think about. He said that pre-match. No good problems to have. People champing his door, wanting in the team.
That's exactly what he's hoping for after today. Lundstrom looking for right. So across to clear. Another called for at the break, and now this is a notable moment for Bayer Leverkusen because they're going to bring on Florian Wirtz in place of Karim Demirbay. That's a hugely talented young prospect who's still only 19. He won his first 4 caps for Germany in September and October of last year, but hasn't played since March when he picked up a serious cruciate ligament injury against Cologne, the club actually where he started out in the youth ranks. And he's been back in full training over the course of the last week and returns to action. A player that Leverkusen and really Germany have such high hopes for, continuing along the comeback trail at Ibrox this afternoon.
Yeah, he's a talent, really sharp, razor sharp, an eye for goal, good quality. And players, you never like to see them get injured early on in their career. Can sometimes make a big dent. I'm pretty sure he's got a big future ahead of him.
This is in by Lundstrom here, fairly coolly dealt with. Certainly relieved to have Florian Wirtz back. They've missed him significantly during his time on the sidelines. Scored 5 times in the Bundesliga before his 18th birthday, the first player ever in that league to do that.
I just player cammed him there literally for 10 seconds. I just watched him. He must have made multiple runs there. You know, one good pass he was in. He looks a live wire. He's just dropping into almost that 10 position. It looks like he's willing to run in behind. I understand why he gets his goals.
Scored against Bayern actually June of 2020 as a 17-year-old. At the time he was the youngest ever Bundesliga scorer. That record has since been surpassed by Yusufa Moukoko at Borussia Dortmund, but it gives you an idea of the esteem in which Wirtz is held and the achievements that he's racked up already at such a young age, despite so long out of the side.
The next challenge will be trying to keep a hold of him, I presume.
There's a belief that once he is fully fit again and he can get back to his best, that will be difficult for Leverkusen to do. Here he is, trying to make something happen for them. Try and find a route back into the game today. Not clear though by Arfield. Sakala, Lundstrom, a little bit of room in which to work. Morelos, Lundstrom, and back again. Plenty in white in the way. Remember to dispossess this time though.
Yeah, good play for James Sands. Uses his body. Almost anticipates where the player wants to take his touch. He just gets his body in really well, does James Sands. Makes it difficult for people to brush him off. You can see already the kid, couldn't you? A minute or two in, he just looks lively. He's brought a wee zip to this team, a wee bit of energy, a wee bit of speed in the front line.
They've gone up a gear maybe since his introduction. These minutes will still have to be managed very carefully at this stage of his comeback, of course. Flick on is by Arfield. Arabi, strong in the challenge as he had to be, and comes away with it. Adli, first time ball to get Mitchell Bakker in behind briefly. Rangers recovered.
I don't know why he wants to come inside. Really, to be honest, once he gets his yard on James Tavernier on that left side, I thought he would just shift it. Just run into bodies.
Tapsoba, still being played in the Rangers half. There is a desire still to go and close down, to make it difficult for the player in possession. Very little time on the ball for anybody. Tapsoba and Bakker combine.
Yeah, he's played much higher, his Bakker. He's almost playing in the front line, left side, giving him a good outlet. Leverkusen, when they do shift the ball, you can just see him. He's almost creating 4 or 5 in the front line. He's a left back.
They paid about €7 million for him to Paris Saint-Germain the summer before last. Dutch under-21 international. Again, back on the ball for John Lundstrom for company. Heading for the midway point of this second half. Still those 2 goals from Alec Tillman, the difference, scored just 6 minutes apart in the first half of the game. It was one of those that came off, the 7 that was substituted at half-time. So still no Ibrox hat-trick since Jermaine Defoe. October of 2019 against Hamilton was the last to do so for Rangers here. We got there in the end.
I knew Stu would come up trumps. Feeding in for me. Love it. Love it. I'm just glad that wasn't one of my quiz questions next, or else Emma would have been beating me again.
Next time it crops up, there's your answer. Tillman got close today, but he was denied the opportunity in the second half.
No bad one to feel it, Jermaine Defoe. He could finish. He could finish.
Have been a couple of Rangers hat-tricks since then, but both away from home actually. Fashion Sakala and Kamar Roof, who was the last to do so.
Just every time I think of Jermaine Defoe, and there'll be better goals, no doubt. Other people remember them, but the ball for James Tavernier, I think it was against Livingston, and he just hits it on the volley first time. It was almost like it was surreal. Just so smooth, such a brilliant finisher.
Fabulous player, wasn't he? Flag up here, as we do go into the concluding quarter of the contest. Well, Leverkusen have been a bit better in attack. They still haven't yet managed to force the route back into the game. That was the correct decision.
Yeah, they've just gambled a wee bit more bodies forward. Seen a wee bit more white jerseys, attacking. Still lacked that wee bit of cutting edge. I think the subs, Xabi Alonso, they've definitely made a wee impact. They've tried to squeeze the game a wee bit more.
4 further players on the bench. One of them is the backup goalkeeper, Nicholas Long. The other 3 are all players who have yet to feature for the senior side, who've been with the under-19s this season and were invited to travel today by Xabi Alonso. It's whipped in with intent. Did want to reach it before Mitchell Bakker, and now looks for options on the ball. That's Davis. Tavernier. Stop right again. Seen plenty of it just at the moment. Tavernier then takes over. Sons will go back to his goalkeeper. Rangers so far showing a degree of composure in controlling the game.
Yeah, just to give it goes. You know, always that wee triangle. You know, when it has went forward, everyone else has always got set back to John Lundstrom and Steve Davis backing it up. Just that next part, I think. You know, somebody running without the ball when it does go up and it comes back. I'm pretty sure Mikel wanted to go forward rather than retreat. Eventually somebody has to be brave enough to play that key pass, but then you need somebody to run as well, which is really important.
It's Wirtz taking the ball from Bakker. Has it again, the left back. It's more in advanced territory for Leverkusen. And here he's the one that's been covering in behind him. This is a Rangers side with the best defensive home record in the Scottish Premiership this season, conceding just 3 goals here. So far, holding firm at the back whilst looking a threat at the other end, as they do here. Fashion Sakala will reach it just ahead of Kusunu. Lundstrom's ball back is a touch too heavy.
He's unlucky. John Lundstrom just looking for Scott Arfield. That one, that give and go, just spoke about it. Now we're going to see a talent.
Substitution for Rangers, off comes number 30, Fashion Sakala.
This boy can play.
Alex Lowry getting his chance. You can hear the anticipation from those in the stands as the 19-year-old is about to be introduced. Place of one of the half-time substitutes. He did take a bit of a knock, Fashion Sakala, and makes way with a smile. Alex Lowry scored on his debut, didn't he, in the Cup against Stirling in January. Hugely impressive talent. He hasn't been helped by injuries this season, but has already reportedly impressed Michael Beale on the training ground over the last couple of weeks or so, and he's on for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's a talent. He really is. Got a terrible tackle. He just found a wee bit of time to find his feet. But I know he'll find well, you know, personally, how much Michael Beale loves this kid. So if he can back it up and he can do the hard yards and he can take his chances, because he will get them under this management, I'm sure of it. And then it's up to him. But he can play.
Yeah, big talent. As I say, big opportunity here as it breaks for Morales for Rangers. Support from Tavernier. Oh, and it's just wide. Only just wide, and he's only just on. And had the goal in his sights there. That would have been some story. Yeah, but Alex Lowry been able to make it through.
He should score, really. Because I know what quality he's got. He's just waiting. I'm thinking, is Alfredo going to drag this back? I actually didn't think he was going to. Just side foots it. He's got the power, he's got the quality. There's Alex Lowry. He actually scored. I think it might have been against Stirling Albion. I'm sure I had on the telly that day. And it was almost similar. It just got fed across him and just felt it in the net. He just opens his body. That's how he takes his penalties. He just don't normally go as high in the net as that right enough, but he just like almost walks it and just feels it into the net.
At the other end for Leverkusen, maybe, but the door is shut in time. Yeah, that was that 4-0 win, wasn't it, against Stirling Albion on debut in January. He finished last season with a goal at Hearts in the Premiership as well. But for that leg injury, would have seen more game time, much more game time this season. But a change of coach may well help his prospects as well. Now 3 further changes here for Leverkusen, and it is the 3 young players that I mentioned. 16, 17 and 17, the respective ages of Mardi Moname, Isaiah Okafor and Noah Pesh, who are all coming on for the concluding stages. You'll know the name, I guess, Okafor, because older brother Noah has been scoring this season in the Champions League with Salzburg. Isaiah is just 17, a Swiss under-17 international who joined in January from Basel, of whom big things are expected. Moname is just 16. He's a centre-back from Belgium. Played 5 times in the UEFA Youth League this season. And Noah Pesh, 17-year-old Croatian under-19 international. Scored 4 times at under-19 level this season. This is their opportunity. A wonderful arena such as this to try and begin making a name for themselves at first-team level. A different type of challenge, I guess, now for Rangers. Some of the more established stars that they were facing earlier in the game. Here's Mitchell Bakker for Leverkusen. Moname. First centre-back, but looks to have slotted in on the left. Maybe a change of shape as well. Xabi Alonso was talking about that, how he wants his players, whatever he ultimately settles on as his preferred formation, he wants them to be comfortable in at least 2 or 3 different systems to switch mid-game if necessary. Tar Andrich and Klojek just to confirm the players that made way in those changes. There's Florian Wirtz. Did well to pull that back, and it opens up for the shot, which when it comes is straight at John McLaughlin.
Comfortable really, work it well. His favoured side. Just a bit spill for John McLaughlin, but under control. I think you're right, into a back 3. I think Bakker was almost playing like a left wing back anyway when they were in the 4. Not so sure much will change. It might just help them a wee bit in the front line. Get a bit closer to each other. So when I've had the success, it's hardly been through the middle of Rangers, you know, really compact. You know, McBeal, they have this big thing about not playing in their organisation, not playing through them, so you know they want to show you wide. You can always see the midfielders just tucked inside.
Final 15, here come Leverkusen again. Wirtz with the through ball, and surely, no! Wonderful defending. Such an important part that he's had at both ends today. James Tavernier kept that one out. He just delayed and delayed the shot. Came off the boot initially of McLaughlin, and then the captain was back in position as the corner comes in, and he's there again to defend it. Florian Wirtz once more, attempting to trick away through. This is Amiri. James Tavernier again underlining his importance in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, brilliant. Good angles for John McLaughlin as well, really. Down with his feet, and then just the reaction. Actually, they're just talking about getting cut open, you know, playing down the sides, blinking an eye, and that does show you the quality when they're in full flow. Leverkusen, they can't hurt you. Great covering block for James Tavernier. Just aware, he sense the danger, he can sail back round.
It was Noah Pesh, wasn't it? The Leverkusen substitute, another who's only just come on that had the opportunity after perhaps had played the pass into his path. First McLaughlin, then Tavernier, and no way through for Pesh.
Yeah, he should score really. I think as soon as John McLaughlin commits, he just thinks he's going to side foot in the net, just has to shift his body weight, a wee disguise. Could have passed in an empty net, let off really for Rangers.
It's Tavernier again, forward towards Scott Wright. Clearance is back only to the Rangers captain. Lowry. James Sounds. They've kept the back 4 intact throughout the game. Rangers all change in front of them, as Kevin Thompson predicted it would be in the first half. They benefited maybe from that consistency at the back, albeit it is mainly through necessity, really. It's the area in which they are hardest hit by injuries.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Mick. The staff, plus the players, you know, it's great to have the jersey, of course it is, and somebody's misfortune can be your fortune, but you know, a club like Rangers, they've got no doubt, you know, being hit in that position.
Lovely ball, Henry to Devine to try and roll in the cross, cleared out as far as Stephen Davis. Leverkusen now have pretty much got everybody back behind the ball again.
What a sensational pass on it for Lowry. He just sees things that others don't. Just his vision. He does land on the ball when he's risky. He takes risks, so he's going to turn the ball over. Of course he is. He'll create for sure. And one that when he lands on the ball, he wants to play safe.
Yes, again, was making himself available.
Yeah, it might drive you mad, like he did me under 18s in the B team. He tries to nutmeg somebody in the halfway line and turns the ball over, but that's just the way Al is. He's a risk taker. He's got a wonderful picture as a football player, and then he's got the technique and the quality of the way to pass the different clubs in the golf flag to produce a bit of magic.
Certainly does seem that he will have the platform to produce. This is Scott Wright. Down he goes. Down very heavily.
I wonder if it's just knee on knee, just shifts away, just chops. Just Scott Wright, just see the trailing leg, just catches him. It's right in the side of the knee, I think it is. Sore one.
Fraser being readied for the couple of changes. That's Charlie McCann as well. He's going to be on shortly by the looks of things. Fraser, left back, another 19-year-old. Not as many of the youngsters included in the matchday squad today as perhaps been predicted by some. Xavi Feko and Zach Lovelace had been potentially to be involved, but not so. Showcase the options available though. And again, there's the through ball from Lowry for Morelos. Backer with him. Down goes the Colombian, and to the spot points the referee. And Rangers will have the chance to wrap this up.
Yeah, I see Alonso and McBeal almost shaking their heads. You can see though, Alfredo, he does get in front. Backer, just as he's recovering, just a nudge. It's lazy really for the fullback. Another opportunity for James Tavernier to add to that goal Holly has. I think somebody's going to lose count soon.
Not in doubt, he was going to take the penalty. Facing Lucas Radecki, the opposing captain. Has saved 17 penalties in his career. Tavernier full of confidence, scored 4 in his last 5 games before the break. Has failed to convert that one, incredibly. There was almost a gasp of disbelief just for a split second or so. It probably won't matter in terms of getting the win, but he's denied by the frame of the goal, and 2-0 it stays.
Yeah, it's not like him, for sure. Every person who takes penalties will miss them, of course, sorry. He's took that many, scored that many.
Scored 47, I believe, in his career. But, you know, if you are to miss one at 2-0 up late on in a friendly, I guess there are worse times to fail to convert from the spot. But uncharacteristically from Tavernier, he is unable to extend the lead.
Yeah, he's changed his mindset really with penalties. There was a spell where he did miss a couple and come under a wee bit of flack, and I'm not so sure who went to them, but he certainly gave them up, and now he's back on them, and he has missed and he's went and retaken them, which I think is definitely a change in mentality for the skipper. He can handle it now. He's the one that steps up, leads for the front.
Yeah, uncharacteristically recently, I think he has missed 11 times in total from the spot, but to be approaching a half century of successful career penalties is quite some statistic. 2-0 it stays then. It's the major moment so far of this second half. In fact, there haven't been too many of them. Would be of confidence for Rangers. I think they could take from that. Be satisfied by that they've retained the element of control. Despite 1 or 2 scares, McLaughlin showing his composure there under pressure with the fancy footwork.
Just keeping the fans excited, I think. John McLaughlin, a bit of trickery. That cheer would certainly have been different if it never come off, trust me.
spoken as Mick Beale, hasn't he, of the need to entertain as well as win games. This man is certainly capable of that, now recovering good ground again. Didn't have plenty in and around the penalty area. Morales didn't have a lot of space. It'll break though for Arfield, and that will finish it off, surely. Cooley into the corner from Scott Arfield. Rangers do get their third goal just minutes after seeing the penalty come back off the post. They extend their lead further against Leverkusen. It's 3-0. It's Scott Arfield on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's certainly not missing another one. Almost, not quite similar, sorry, not almost identical, but similar to the chance that he had. Just gets out of his feet. Great play for Alfredo Morelos. Big clever pass for Alex Lowry. Just uses his power. That support run that he does so well. Scott Arfield arrives, just slots it home, opens his body up, perfect first touch. Side foot. Game, set and match.
Morales certainly playing his part in his creation of it. Arfield takes full advantage. It's been an excellent afternoon's work for Michael Beale on opening day. There are the two further changes that had been in the offing for a little while. Robbie Fraser and Charlie McCann do get their opportunity for the last few minutes, coming into a team that are leading by 3-0 and maybe here in the mood for more. No surprise though that Beale is continuing to introduce the substitutes as he said he would, having a look at as many players as possible.
Yeah, I thought they were never getting on there.
It was a lengthy wait, wasn't it?
Always the same when you're a young lad, desperate to go on the pitch. The ball never goes out, or there's never a free kick, or never a stoppage in play. But you know, thankfully, Charlie and Robbie Fraser now on the pitch.
A more commanding position that the team are in as they do so. King and Devine making way in the back four. Fraser's been on the first team bench 3 times without yet making a competitive debut. Barisic to come back from the World Cup. He's very much been the first choice in that left-back role. We'll get the free kick here. Final 5 of the 90. Let's look at the players that they have to come back from injury in the centre of defence as well. The likes of Connor Goldson, John Souttar, Ben Davis missing today. Philip Helander, a longer-term absentee. Strength and depth if they can get them all fit again. And Stephen Davis comes back to him. Just denied his moment. Tavernier in there. Becker cuts it out.
It's almost brilliant, isn't it? Little give and go. Stephen Davis, Alfredo Morelos involved, Scott Wright.
Florian Wirtz isolated in attack for Leverkusen. Weren't able to get their goal that might have changed the narrative a little bit. As it is, they've been badly beaten, or it certainly appears that will be the case.
Yeah, I think the chance James Tavernier clears off the line might have given him a wee lift. You just never know when that ball goes in the net how you react. It's been very comfortable for Rangers, smooth, dominated possession, dominated both boxes really.
Positive signs for the new boss to build on before it starts to get more serious. Hectic schedule to come. Talked about the Hibs game on Thursday. 5 days later it's a trip to Aberdeen. They go to Ross County a couple of days before Christmas. Motherwell here on the 28th of December. And then of course the latest Old Firm clash, the 2nd of January. If they can take maximum points going into the game with Celtic, who knows what that might mean for a possible title challenge. This will be a useful confidence booster, given the way that the game has gone.
Touch wood for the management and for the players, I suppose. You know, with length injury list that you mentioned, that everybody's got through unscathed. I don't see anyone really, apart from the odd coming together. Scott Wright's took a couple bumps. I think they're just wee bumps. I think collectively the group look like they've come, hopefully, a few minutes to go, through unscathed.
Certainly be another big positive. Injuries have been a recurring theme so far this season. Too many drop points though cost Gio van Bronckhorst his job. Disappointing Champions League group stage as well. He had almost a year in charge. Beale hoping to lay some further foundations at the start of his tenure. Becker coming under pressure from Davis. Morelos is going to get on the end of it and get his shot away. Caught it sweetly. Radetzky was right behind it. Might not have necessarily been expecting it.
Being unorthodox as well, almost a one-handed save. Brilliant improvisation for Alfredo Morelos. He put his hand up. Scott Arfield, wonderful effort. On his weaker side as well. He's certainly got the quality. There's Alfredo Morelos.
With some great memories of what Morelos is capable of doing in this team, hoping to create some more maybe. Short term certainly over the second half of the season and the remainder of his contract. Leverkusen 3-0 down in the last minute of the 90. Forced to play the ball between themselves inside their own penalty area, struggling really to get out. Becker's touch and reaction sums up the story really as far as the visitors are concerned. It's going to be the last touch of the game, and it's been an excellent afternoon's work for Michael Beale and for Rangers. Comfortable winners. Scott Arfield had the final say in the scoring just 6 minutes from the end of the 90 with the third goal of the game. They almost extended their advantage further right at the end with this effort from Morelos. But Rangers, Kevin Thompson, deserved winners here, comfortable winners here.
Yeah, I suppose comfortable is the best word to use. I think against a good team, I'm not sure a good team right at 10 out of 10 at their best, but you know, some good play. I think the key message for me, I suppose, coming off the manager is give me problems, give me good problems. I think a few players, you know how big the game is next week, I think a few players have gave the manager some food for thought.
Plenty of positives certainly. 2 goals for Tillman in the first half. Arfield wrapped it up late on, full time. Rangers 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0.
Well, it's all change here. They're more active, driving better, and going out in the middle of the night.
It's happening. It's happening.
Whatever your reason for making a positive change in life, Vitality protects and motivates you to make it happen. Smart Take gets you started, rewards keep you going. That's how we share the benefits of healthy living. We call it shared value insurance.
No, I'm off to the spare room.
Vitality, sharing the benefits of healthy living.
Welcome to Play to Red! Incredible! Play our exclusive slot like The Cube, I'm a Celeb, and Tipping Point. Join and get a welcome bonus up to £150! Only at 32red.com.
Rangers 3-0 winners over Bayer Leverkusen, their final friendly before league action returns on Thursday night. Alan Hutton, Neil McCann still with me. Well, Michael Beale said in his pre-match that he would give everyone a go, and my word, he certainly did. 8 changes in that second half, at the beginning of the second half. It was almost like a new look Rangers side, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, new look as in personnel, but looking for the same sort of commitment, energy, same levels of performance. So yeah, overall I think it's been a real good run out for all those players, and an opportunity for them to go and shine and go and show the manager that they're capable of taking on board the instruction, what he's looking for on the pitch, and I think they delivered really well today.
Yeah, would you agree with that?
Yeah, all the things that Alan said. And the most important thing that I was looking for today to give us an indication of where they're at is the shape never changed. The shape was constant. I looked at the clock at 88 minutes and they were still pressing. There's still that same rotation. I think if you took a snapshot of the game, you could tell exactly what they want to do. At times that one in behind the two strikers, it seemed, but it can flatten out, it can develop. I think if you're watching that back, if I was watching that back again, there's a clear message for me, Alan, and that they want to get the ball into the middle of the penalty box. Lowry's ball into Morelos there for Arfield's third goal was just a perfect illustration of what I think Mick Beale's trying to do. There's loads of little balls go central now. And what that's doing is that they're getting runners in between, but when they play loads of little balls centrals and it's little 1-2s, it just sucks the back four of the opposition in. That's allowing Tavernier to get high in the right, Young Devine in particular in the game getting high in the left, so there's a clear way of playing. I thought it was an excellent run out today for them all.
We spoke about competition for places. Do you think Michael Beale knows who he's going to start on Thursday?
Yeah, he'll know. I think he'll know. Even before this game, looking at previous games, analysing performances, looking at his squad, obviously injuries and stuff, I think he'll have a good idea. Maybe one or two question marks over certain people that he wanted to see today. I think everybody turned up, put on a good performance, so he's maybe given a little bit of a headache in certain selections, but more often than not, I think he'll know he's starting 11 for Thursday.
And what do you think he learnt from the game today?
Probably that the team can take on instruction. I mean, we're talking about a short period of time. He's come in, been able to work with the players. They've taken that on board early on. So with that being said, it's only going to get better. It's only going to grow. We're talking about the link-up play, the balls into the striker's feet to allow space out wide. I mean, after 9 training sessions, I think he spoke about, he's already seen this being put into practice. So he must be really happy with what he's seen so far.
I think he's learned that there's a lot more in the tank than what they've been given. If he's watched I know he was up for the game against Aberdeen, which was probably one of Rangers and Giovanni's best performances when they smashed Aberdeen. But I believe that what Michael will know after today's game is that, having watched the flat performances and not so good results, there's more to come from all these boys. I think today we saw a wee bit of a flash of what they're capable of. And I like Alan, I believe he'll have a perfect 11 in his head now if he gets them all through to Thursday, fit and playing well. But there's a few guys I think have maybe given him a couple of, as he calls it, good problems to have selection.
Do you think, taking someone like Morelos, who came on in that second half, can he get a tune out of someone like him?
I thought he was good today.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can. There's no getting away from the fact that there's a good player in there. I think through circumstances he's not been able to hit the highs for numerous reasons, but if you can get him playing to the standard that we know he can, as Neely said there, his little cameo when he came on, I thought he was very good. He looked strong, holding the ball up, playing the ball off, making things happen, being a nuisance. That's what we're used to seeing from him. So he obviously, I think, to get the best out of him, he has to play week in, week out. He's not that type of player, I think. Yeah, of course.
Everything's down to attitude.
I don't think he's that player that can sit on the bench for 6 weeks, come on, be top of his game, be out for 3 games. I think he needs to play. But to do that, his attitude has to be correct.
Clean sheet? Considering that there are some key figures in defence not available right now, is that encouraging?
Yeah, very much so. I said before the game, I didn't think the result was the most important aspect of today. But you still wanted to win the game. You've beaten a Leverkusen side who are missing a few big players themselves, but a Leverkusen side who have got quite a healthy budget to spend as well, so are an array of talent, as the guys were speaking about in commentary. But to get a clean sheet's pleasing, particularly for the defence, and they take great credit in that. James Tavernier can be really pleased because he could easily have given up today, given the fact that it's a comfortable win. it's a friendly, but he's trying to keep that ball out, even when it goes past the goalkeeper. He's making sure that it keeps a nil. And that's a wee bit of the steel I think that Mick needs to bring back to the team. Hard to beat, no matter who it is. If you're scoring goals, you see it out, you do things properly, and the clean sheet is another bonus for everybody.
Well, let's take a look at the goals today. Malik Tillman getting himself a brace. First one, just great ball in from James Tavernier. And you said this is actually makes it look easy, but it's a lot harder to do.
Yeah, if that was me there, it would be over the bar, because you need to be composed in that situation. But it's a lovely ball into James Tavernier, into a great area. He understands where he has to be to get on the end of it. It's good movement, and he just caresses it into the back of the net. But this is what we expect from Tillman. We know that he's more than capable. We just want to see it consistently. So yeah, great finish.
It was really positive. Tav's putting the ball in there. Cholak and Matondo, Tillman, Kent, all in the box, and Young Devine, as you'll see coming in at the back end if it pans out. Don't know if it'll pan out, but he just comes in here at the end. And he's up in the game as well, so you can tell there's a real positive impact that he's had in terms of the desire to boys to hit the box. The more boys you got in the box, the greater opportunity you've got of scoring goals, because it's harder for that guy to find one or two men. If you get 4 or 5 guys scatting around the 18-yard box, yeah, I mean your chances increase dramatically. So, yeah, that was a brilliant goal from what is a direct impact of how Mick wants to play.
It was the same combination, Tavernier, Tillman for the second goal as well, albeit a set piece, but still a crucial part of games.
Yeah, of course it is. Set pieces are massive, especially when you come up against some good outfits. But again, you expect Tavernier to be able to pick somebody out, and he does this more often than not. Puts it into a good area. Tillman, he doesn't even really have to do too much. He just kind of a couple of steps to his left. He's got a great leap, and just then can he get the direction right? And of course he can. Obviously confidence is flown by this time, and he puts the ball in the back of the net. Defensively, for Leverkusen, poor. They're very weak there. They don't even really jump with them, but it's a real good movement, good header.
Was there a period in the second half where it felt a little bit flat?
Maybe so, but that's because the rhythm's gone of the game, because there's new guys coming in. It was only the back four that remained in place virtually, and then the whole middle to front changed. So that rhythm was clearly going to be affected. But I felt they still tried to do the same things, Becky, and as I said, it's really important that the message gets across to the players of what he's looking for. And clearly they got it. In those 8-9 days of training, they've certainly got it. And you only know if they've got it once you come up against opposition, where it's not passive and it's not everybody knows what they're doing, and there's a wee bit of an allowance to go and do things in training. That opposition would have not have known how Rangers would have been playing under a new manager. So that's a clear message that I believe it's seeped into the players. So you can forgive them to try to find a wee bit of that graft and guile, just because they're all coming together in the second half. But I thought it was really, really impressive.
Should we take a look at the penalty incident? Morelos, I think it was, that went down. Definitely was a penalty.
Yeah, it is for me.
Good move again, straight from the back.
It's really good movement, and they play through the lines really quickly. It's a great ball through. I think it's Lowry there, but Morelos does what he does best. He gets his body in front of the defender. It's impossible for a defender to try and make a tackle there, and it's lazy defending. I mean, he doesn't even really need to do that. He just pushes him in the back. He does well, goes over. It was, of course, it's a penalty, but I think
it does seem a silly decision when you think of where it is in the game.
Exactly, it's absolutely pointless. But I think what's better than obviously that was the movement. It was the quick passing through the lines, getting up to Morelos. He gets into the right position, penalty given.
James Tavernier doesn't miss often. If there was a game to miss, it's in this one.
I mean, the keeper's beating all ends up as well. That's 4 inches away from finding a side net, and you can see he's disappointed because he wouldn't have enjoyed missing that. I mean, he totally does, the keeper, but there's no bend on it. It's slightly probably come off the front end of his foot, which doesn't allow him to wrap it round him. But Alex Lowry has played that pass for Morelos in that little 10 pocket. He's so clever. And I know he's come back from a big, long injury, but he's so clever. And again, it's his little pass through the line into Morelos for the Arfield one as well. Yes. And this is what I mean about being central. That move from back to front was all central passing. And if you're going to be incisive, you had to go through the hearts of the team. Look at this pass from Lowry. Little disguised bum into Morelos, strong enough to knock it off. And Arfield doing what Arfield does best is going slightly beyond the striker, and a real composed finish. He should have probably had one before as well.
I was going to say, was that redemption? Because he did have a chance earlier today.
I'm interested to see how it develops. We can see how Mick Beale wants to play, whether it's going to be with that number 10, with a midfielder going up and getting involved. But you think of Lowry, I think that's his best position, that number 10. He can see a pass, he can find people in areas, see things that others can't. Lawrence, when he comes back, that's his position for me as well. So if that's the way they're going to continue to play and develop, I think it's a sign of good things to come. This is only 9 sessions down the line. So can you imagine when he's got a fully fit squad, all hungry to do well, and we're already seeing signs of good play. So good things to come, I think.
How do you feel Devine got on today?
I thought he did well, really well, playing out of position. Very athletic kid. I know.
Yeah, he's what, 19?
Yeah, Tomo was talking about him, saying he's a brilliant runner, long distance runner. You need an engine to play fullback. He's right about that as well, but he doesn't seem flustered. And I know it was a friendly, and I know it's a half-empty stadium. There's no pressure on the game, but you still have to show the qualities that you're looking for that type of position. And he still put balls into the box with his left foot, which is unnatural for him. I thought he did really well today. I like him, but unfortunately he's behind the captain, who's been so exceptionally consistent in his game that he's found it difficult to get in. But no, I think he's got a future here. So
what are we thinking? More desire today? Fitness levels look better?
I think all-round performance, just having that energy and aggression to work hard, go and close people down, win the ball back, runners in behind, movement. I think there was a little bit of everything that we were asking for, and we've seen it out there in such, again, a short period of time. People look hungry, they want to impress, so looking forward to Thursday.
Well, yeah, Thursday, second half of the season. Big game Thursday.
Massive. It's an enormous wee period, I think. Everybody is, and the manager and the players will say it's only the next game you focus on. But that game on the horizon, the 2nd of January for Celtic, is a big one. That's the one that they need to win if they're to claw back. But I think they can only have aspirations of getting back in this title race if they go unscathed. So Thursday is massive.
Huge. Really looking forward to it. It's been a pleasure, obviously, to sit here and watch that game out there and seeing things develop. I think it can only get better the more you work at it. So, yeah, it's a huge game. I think everybody will be desperate to play in it, and they'll know the stakes are high, so they need to perform.
Well, it certainly feels like it is the start of a new era here. Michael Beale getting the job done. Yes, it was a friendly, but a 3-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen here this afternoon sets up perfectly for when the league returns on Thursday. So Rangers will take on Hibs right here at Ibrox, 8 p.m. You can watch it on Rangers TV if you are outside the UK or Ireland. Alan, Neil, thank you very much for your company. Hope you enjoyed that. Lovely little afternoon, even though it's been absolutely freezing in this studio. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time.